Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow gamers. We are here at CappingTV on the main channel to cast the main grand finals between Terrible Tactics and Colon Cancer for Season 29. I am Jolson. On the mic with me is Poisy, and on the cam is Jazz. How are you doing, Poisy?
Doing lovely, thank you, Jolson. How are you doing, man?
Doing good. I'm excited to see some TF2. We've already got some open coverage on the other stream, but at the moment we're just going to wait for this main game between some two pretty closely contested teams. We've both come from main and we've fought both of them, so it'll be interesting to see how these teams go after all our experiences with them. We can probably quickly go over the rosters. They should be starting relatively soon. Why don't you take away one of the rosters and then I'll cover the other one?
Yeah, sure. I'll take Terrible Tactics. I believe tonight they are running Beats as their combo scout, Appa 3 as their flank scout, Optivex as their pocket soldier, Ants, or a team of Ants in their prime as their roamer, Worth is their demo man, and Spaceship or Rocky as their medic.
Cool. On the side of colon cancer, from memory, I think it is Nerf on Pocket Scout, Jenga on Flank Scout. Pocket Soldier will be Juice. Roma Soldier will be Spartan. Demo is default, and Medic is Ambrosio. I said before, we've both faced these teams plenty of times, so what are your initial thoughts on this matchup?
Oh, look, it's going to be a really good game, and it's going to be hard to call. They've had some really close games throughout the season, as well as the upper page playoffs, where both teams had I think Terrible Tactics ended up winning, but a really close game went right down to the wire. I think we'll probably expect to see that again tonight. Although I do think Colon Cancer will come out slightly better.
It's interesting. It's interesting you say that because these teams have mostly kept the same roster. Although there has been a change on the side of Terrible Tactics. They have Optivex and Beats on Scout this time instead of Appa 3, and then they've got Birdo and Ants on Soldier. That's the main lineup that they've been using for the past month or two. When Appa 3 was playing for them, 2 weeks ago? That was just a sub because of Birdo. He was away, so it's interesting to see the change between these two teams. And last week we saw we saw Colon Cancer use Kowski instead of Juice on Soldier. So these teams haven't had as much time to practice with their core roster, but I mean they've played with each other for quite a while throughout the season now, so it will definitely be I don't think it'll be too much of an issue in terms of chemistry or whatever. But we do have some pick bans already. I don't think all of the picks have gone through, but we have bans. No. So Terrible Tactics at the moment have started by banning Process. Colon Cancer banned Villa. Terrible Tactics then banned Snakewater, and then the last ban that came out was from Jenga on Colon Cancer, and he banned Gully Wash. And the first map so far we have is Product.
I'm interested to see the Product result because Appa 3 is a pretty cracked sniper. And because he's not playing, I think that's going to change the result of the game. Because I believe when Cancer play them without Appa on their roster, they tend to come out a bit better. So I'm not sure how that's going to play out tonight, and how confident Terrible Tactics are playing that without an established sniper on what can be such a dominant sniper map. But I'm sure if they've picked it, they've got their reasons.
Yeah, in the words of Jenga, anytime that they scrim Terrible Tactics with Appa 3, they get 3-0'd, and then anytime they don't have Appa, they don't get 3-0'd. So I'd say I'd probably favor Jenga's team, to be honest, because Nerf and Jenga are such, in comparison to the Optivex and Beat Scouts, I'd rate Jenga and Nerf a little bit higher, maybe even a lot higher. But the soldiers though, Ants and Birdo, are kind of terrifying. Not I versed them recently in a pre-game scrim, but they were making space for their team, and Ants especially just likes to do those Ants plays where he just chews behind and stuff like that. But it's not really his DM that carries him, but it's more so his jumping and his timing and things like that. And it'll be interesting to see how they play out on other maps as well, because the last picks have come in, and Jenga, Colon Cancer with their only pick has decided to grab Sunshine, and then Terrible Tactics have gotten Reckoner. How else do you think, or like, in what other ways will you think these teams play? Like, what other things are there to note?
Oh, I mean, I think it'll be a good clash between the demo men. Worthy and Default are both very good demos. You won't find much better in main, at least. And I think that could be the deciding factor, honestly. Whichever demo shows up a bit more tonight, because you've got such powerful scouts on the side of colon cancer and such powerful soldiers on the side of terrible tactics. I think it'll be interesting to see which ways like the fight's going. I think that'll be dictated by how much work the demos can do.
Yeah, I agree. There's a little bit of pressure on like in this game too. Obviously, it's a grand final, and I'm pretty sure, like, I don't think a lot of the guys in colon cancer have gotten like what is it to this stage, like at the very last game. Whereas I know Optivex and Ants have gotten to this stage before, and they've actually won some of their respective games. So what like respective grand finals. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle the nerves and things like that. I mean, obviously these guys have already had some playoff games under their belt just then, like recently, especially colon cancer. They've already had like 2 games. So you know, I'm curious to see how this will play out. I'm really
Yeah.
excited for product though.
This must be Jenga's first playoffs game or first final in like 20 seasons of TF2. So that'll be interesting to see how he performs under the pressure.
Yeah, he's been around for an eternity. What other things do you think there is to note? Like, I guess we can go more deep into product because it is our first map. Like, I think we've already noted that the scouts on the side of red, what is it, on colon cancer are pretty pound, whereas
Yeah.
the soldiers on the side of blue are like, what is it, pretty pound as well. Like,
Mm.
what do you think about snipers then? Because we've seen Spartan sniper before, but I'm not really sure if they have an effective sniper on blue team since Appa 3 is not here.
Yeah, look, Spartan Sniper's like good, but it's not going to blow a team out of the water. Um, I think the default probably prefers just having that cookie cutter lineup. If your sniper's not hitting every single shot, so I think we'll probably not see too much sniping then, unless there's a sleeper agent in terrible tactics we don't know about. I think it'll be a pretty standard product game tonight.
Yeah, playing against Terrible Tactics just then, they didn't really have their own sniper. I think you'll probably be seeing a sniper the most when they have like the point and they're trying to defend it. And when that was the case, sorry, when they were scrimming us just or scrimming my team just then, they didn't really have a sniper when they were defending point. So they're just probably relying on tanking Worthy and like rotating heals with Worthy and then their 2 scouts and then just doing damage off that. So one thing I did note when I was playing them though was that they really like to flood people through connector and just they either get people behind or they just overwhelm the flank and then they play the pick advantage from there, which is like super annoying. But I think the side like the DM on the side of Jenga's team, they should be able to mitigate that, or like they should be able to read that situation properly, especially with default, because he's like them. He's their strong arm main caller. He like tries to micro everyone and he tries to read every situation as hard as he can so he can get his team like into a good advantageous position. I think he'll be able to read that. It's just I don't know. Like we haven't seen these guys play, so
Yeah. No, I definitely think default's more than up to the task of spotting all that stuff and keeping his team well aware of the situations.
yeah. Oh, sorry. You go first.
Oh no, you go.
Yeah, apart from product, we do have Sunshine. It's another kind of scout dominated map where Jenga and Nerf could probably pound. What do you think are some things to note on Sunshine? Because that's definitely going to be played. Like if it, if it does, like Reckoner
Yeah,
might not.
yeah.
So, what do you think we'll be able to see on Sunshine?
Sunshine's just a great map. It just gives good like sixes gameplay. And I think we're really gonna see is the Ants Birdo Soldier better than the Nerf Jenga Scout. I think that's gonna be like even on product. I think there's no point to run a sniper when your soldier's that dominant, and they just get behind on this map so often. It's really frustrating to play against because you've got to constantly have a scout looking behind you rather than area denying on the point. So I think if they can, default's main clone is going to be super important on product for sure. And I think that's going to carry over also onto Sunshine. If they can shut down the soldiers, I think this should be a pretty comfortable win for them. But if they let the soldiers run loose, then they're going to have a real problem on their hands.
Yeah, I agree. Like the soldiers on the side of Optivex's team, they just do so much and create like so much space. It's either they're jumping in and doing a bunch of damage after to clean up off Worthy's damage, or they're just going behind, causing people to come back for them, and then allowing their team to walk forward with like that kind of quasi play ad where they just can like tank their demo and their scouts and just walk through a choke point as Ants or like Birdo was behind. It's super annoying to play against, but it works clearly.
Mm. And
Yeah,
the
you
timing
go.
from Ants as well is always immaculate. Like everyone, or not everyone, but he gets cops a lot for not having the best DM. But his plays and his bombs are almost really well timed, and in main, that's something that a lot of teams tend to struggle with, shutting down those really well coordinated plays.
Yeah, like Nerf and Django have the raw DM to probably shut down ants any day of the week. It's just that sometimes they can't always focus on soldiers because they're trying to clean up on default's damage. So it's like a pick your poison kind of thing for the scouts, where they either have to choose to shoot whatever's in front of them that default does damage to, or they have to try and annihilate an ants like a team of ants in their prime who's behind, or like they have to try and shut down Birdo who's like fully distracting their whole combo. It's like it really it's so annoying to play against both of these teams for so many different reasons. Like terrible tactics just have like annoying soldiers, and then you have like a brick wall on the side of colon cancer where you just can't get past like nerf and default. I think that will be something to note though, because the combo play of nerf and default is like disgusting. Like I versed them in scrims often, and they're like a brick shit house. They don't die. They don't die. They kill everything. It's like I don't know what. Like some of the times you just jump in and then nerf two shots you, and you're like, oh shit, like I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Whereas, like I think you can't. I think you can abuse kind of the beats and Optivex Scout a lot more. It's just that I'm not sure if the soldiers can pick their timings as well as ants can on the side of colon cancer. So yeah,
Yeah, definitely. That nerf is like just leagues, seems to be leagues above DM wise at least anyone else in main. It's just crazy how consistently he performs to such an unbelievable ability. I mean,
yeah.
he's just a gamer, really.
The dude hits like 75 act plus on the constant, and he's picking up a bunch of frags in the process. It's not like those random chip shots where you try and like boost your act like Asia Fort Scouts or something do. But like he's actually doing damage, getting kills, cleaning up soldiers. Like you'd have game like Nerf has games where he just has like 20 soldier kills and like has 2 scout and 2 demo kills. Like that's the type of player Nerf is, because he's trying to shut like default has also said it himself. And Nerf, like I've talked to them about it, and then they're just like, Nerf's job is literally just to protect me and Ambro, and then we're gonna walk forward off of that. So I don't like Nerf is doing his job as perfect as he can, and I think he might be able to like exploit some of those combo 1v1s as well. Like if Beats or Optivex kind of even get near him, then I think it won't be a very fun time for either of them, and Nerf will just run in and two shot them. Especially if Default will get like an early sticky on them or something. Like Nerf won't have any hard time dealing with them.
Oh, not at all. I mean, he's not the sort of player I'd walk at as a scout. Yeah, he's just got like the raw DM to shut down anyone, especially these two scouts. I mean, not that they're bad, they're terrific players, but it's impossible essentially to consistently win 1v1s against Nerf.
Yeah, I guess we can speak more about the other maps too, since we're still kind of waiting and chilling on product. We do have 6 and 7. Actually, no, we probably shouldn't even do that. We should just kind of start predicting now. They already have 12 in server. What are your guesses for this map scoreline? What do you think you'll see from some particular players? How do you think it'll go?
We've said a lot. I think 3-1 to colon cancer. I think without upper plane, it wasn't the right pick for terrible tactics, but I might be missing something. This might be something they feel comfortable on. But I still think that colon cancer, will feel comfortable taking this map. And when you can play with comfort on product, you tend to play a little bit better.
Yeah, I'd kind of agree. Like once you get that momentum rolling, it's hard to stop like a team just kind of rolling and fisting on product. They just always seem to have the edge somehow if they like have the point. I probably you know, for the sake of an entertaining cast, I'd hope it will be like a 3-2, but I'd still bet that 3-2 to colon cancer. Probably gonna see like default do a bunch of damage. I'd say Worthy is like an underrated player as well. Like he does a lot for his team. Like he doesn't get mentioned in the same breath as default or like other demos that have played in main this season, but he really does his job well, and he takes is like yeah, he takes the beam. He like knows when to play beam and when to not, and like he's very. I don't think you see him get caught out as much as default could, because default's a very aggressive player in general. Like he always expects like Nerf or Ambro to be with him, whereas Worthy is just a little bit more. I'd say a little bit more aware of his team's positioning.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah.
I think with default microing as hard as he does as well, he tends to extend into situations he doesn't, or he shouldn't be in as a demo, just because he needs to get that little bit of extra information to help, you know, determine where his team's going to push from or something. He tends to walk into like sniper sightlines or traps a lot, just because he's got so much on his mind. With like microing five players, as well as trying to maximize damage and coordinate pushes and bombs. So there can be a lot on his plate, and he can just sort of wander a little bit too far and get caught out. And on a map like Product that really punishes that, that could be something that Terrible Tactics look to exploit, as we have our readies up. Yeah. We're live.
We have ready ups, and we are going into the first mid. I am going to be watching Worthy on this first mid, as he is rolling out through his cliffside. He is actually going to meet Default, who tried to do a double sticky rollout. Default's already on 100 HP, Worthy has 240. He's going to start walking across now. He doesn't really get a lot of early damage. He actually cops a sticky onto Nerve, and then we have soldiers bombing through now. Double soldier pressure coming from Juice and Spartan. They are indeed, they have already picked off the medic and spaceship, and they're just going to try and play tight now. Ambro is getting rushed by Optivex though. He is already on 70 HP, but he manages to live, and that should be a mid for the side of Red Team. Although, it looks like Birdo, Beats, and Worthy are going to try and muscle their way through with some more damage. They're going to try and fight these two scouts with Beam. I'm not sure how I feel about this, but they're going to try their best.
They just don't have the health. I mean, they can spam it, but there's nothing they can do against the Beam Scouts. They do chew up a little bit of time, so we might see some sacks ready to come in now.
Yeah, it's full out onto the side of Red. I'm expecting to see some sacks as well. The soldiers are already low on the side of Blue Team, and Worthy is just sticky jumping out. I think they're going to try and reset and make sure they all have a decent health pool to try and jump in. But they're all just clustered up onto one side. Like, this is like the iron wall that I was talking about between the scouts of Jenga and Nerf and Default. And then you just have soldiers like waiting on each side, ready to bomb. So yeah, it's already time, like 30 seconds have already come across now. Birdo has already gotten a bomb in. He gets a solid rocket onto Ambro, but doesn't get anything else. Ambro is on 150 after taking the pack, and yeah, he's not in any danger at all. And they're just going to try and get out and build the Uber after this with Beats and Spaceship. Oh, Rocky,
Ambro read that like a book. He backed at the perfect time there, so that he'd bait the bombs in, but he was far enough to not take any damage from them at all. And so the players just died without even having a sight line onto Ambrosio.
Yeah, just playing those product sacks perfectly. When you have that full Uber advantage, you kind of just expect people to mong into you, and you know, Ambro and Default played it perfectly. I'm sure Default probably told him where to walk, like 6 hammer units backwards or something, but yeah. It looks like they're going to try and get some forward pressure now, since they have that Uber after grinding. There's already a minute and 20 across, like, taken off the clock for the Optivex team, so they're going to try and muscle their way forward. Worthy's taking a bunch of beam. They're going to actually pop first. Not too great of an Uber, because Default's going to start running in now. He's going to do a bunch of damage. Nerf is actually not in this, so I'm not sure how this will actually go. Default's just... Yeah, Default just took a bunch of space with that. They clean up Beats and Ants in the process, but yeah, that's probably, you know, what looked like at the start was kind of a weak Uber in return. Like, they managed to get those 2 picks on overextending players, so it was perfectly fine for them. And now they're just going to consolidate their position on the point.
Clinical product play. I mean, just making the other team use really early on the point, milking your Uber a bit, using to save players, and then catching anyone who's overextended. I mean, it's just so hard to play against. They did manage to get the point, so they got a little bit of time. But there's so much aggression now that scouts are actually just bullying Cancer off the point, and they've backed so far, they've given up so much room, they'll lose the point again.
Yeah, they also slam Jenga right back into the spawn kill, and Ants manages to survive against to survive against the Juice Soldier on left. So like they're in a decent position right now. As long as they don't die and feed, they should be okay to hold and maybe grab at least another 30 seconds off this. There is going to be even Ubers on the side of both teams though, so it looks like it's going to be a scout and demo trade, most likely coming from Cliff on the side of Colon Cancer.
Yeah, it actually looks like they're doing a 4-man sack instead.
But yeah, interesting. Jenga completely dies, gets evaporated. So does Default. They actually managed to get the 4-stone. Yeah, that's kind of perfect. I'm surprised they didn't trade because they had even Ubers, but it worked out perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I think they tried to do that because they realized they have so much time taken off the point already. Like it's a 1-minute advantage onto the side of red team, and they have all the time in the world to start edging this. There is a forward hold coming out on the side of blue though.
They've only got Worthy on Cliff. He has no support. If someone comes out main and bombs him, he could be in a vulnerable position, although he has 2 scouts coming to back him up now, as the Uber's used really early through main.
Yeah, Amber was taken down into 40 health. Default is trying to jump in with this. He gets a bunch of damage, but doesn't manage to pick any frags. Spartan actually goes down, and he gets crapped all over. Ants is already in after Juice is taken out of the medic, and yeah, that is a clean push. They lost a few players early, but Juice, I'd say the soldiers made so much space where the rest of them could just walk forward. Jenga actually loses 1v1 against Beats on this right side, but that's actually pretty decent. They could be completely fine. They're just gonna wait until Jenga comes up and then gonna cap. But blue team did manage to buy a bunch of time though, so this is not too bad so far. The only problem is that they lost spaceship during that Uber push, so they're gonna try and, they're not in too great of a position, even though they got that much time off.
Yeah, I think the best bet would be trying to push them early now, and we actually see Ants going behind, looking to cause some chaos. Big Bomb does a decent amount of damage and pulls a lot of players back. He will die for it, but he trades his life with Jenga.
Oh, Default goes down too. He just eats a bunch of shit from Birdo and Beats. And even though they have this full ad, they're not in a great position to use it. They do have slightly better respawns though, because they don't have the point anymore, but it's kinda... It'll be interesting to see how they use this Uber. I'm pretty sure Default will probably just jump again and try and do a bunch of damage. He probably realizes that Spaceship is getting really close to Uber, so they're probably going to try and focus him right away. And yeah, they're coming up to Cliff now. Nerf is looking to big this through. Ants gets completely owned by Spartan on the flank. Birdo gets taken down as well. Juice goes down on the side of red, but they've taken back this point, and they should be completely fine. There is even Ubers now, though.
Yeah, that was just beautiful soldier regression from Colon Cancer. They managed to get those 2 crucial picks, and they couldn't get the Uber force with no soldiers. So they just managed to muscle the point back. Really good from them.
Spartan does die on the side though. He has not fun respawn, that's for sure. There is a soldier going behind and Ants. He's just going to run around on right side and going to get chased by Jenga, but Default is walking across. He's not going to let them... Yeah, he's not going to let them take that much space, and yeah.
He hasn't made them flush though, so the Uber will be better for terrible tactics, as Default takes a lot of damage, although it looks like he will be safe.
Yeah, Jenga dies as well, and even though Default lived, they are at a 2-player disad, and they are just getting swarmed by a bunch of the blue team players. Default finally does go down to the side of Ants. Spaceship eats rocket, gets a quick surf out, and they're going to take this point, and probably this round.
A big bomb from Spawn, but it doesn't look like... Well, it's not enough, but yeah, no. Not quite enough for Jenga to stay on the point.
Yeah, that's the first round. I'd say Worthy did so much that round. He was just creating, like I said before, he was probably just better positioned most of those fights. Default was always very eager and he was doing a solid amount of damage, but Worthy just had better positioning. I don't think he died maybe twice, and that was to soldiers in post, but every other team fight he did he did great. A soldier instantly feeds on the side of Juice. He tries to get an early bomb in to force out Worthy. That doesn't happen. Birdo is getting chipped off on Pride Rock, and that's not even going to matter because they're just going to walk forward and get a bunch of aggression. Player out on the side of blue team as they pick off the other soldier and Spartan, and yeah, they're just going to walk across the point.
Yeah, they sort of just had Juice and feed immediately, and then I think it was Spartan just lost a 1v1, and there's not much you can do after that.
Oh my god, Default goes down so low. He was trying to get a bunch of damage into Worthy, but then he just eats shit and dies. Luckily, they don't have too bad respawns because they don't have the point, but it's certainly going to delay their push, and they're probably going to lose 30 seconds to a minute just by, Default dying.
Yeah, that's actually massive because 2 players were really deep and died for the side of terrible tactics there, which is a cardinal sin dying. Just feeding while you have the point. Those 20-second respawns really hurt, especially when the other team spawns in 10.
Yeah, Spartan and Jenga also decide to feed when they don't have the point, and they're gonna actually they're actually gonna get the force out. Even though they are in the respawn queue right now, they should be up fairly quickly because they don't have the point. Ants looks like he's about to die as well. Oh no, Ambrose, yeah,
Ambrose force is so far back, that's an absolute boober. Nothing's happening off that.
And he's gonna get killed by Ants. Ants just picked his timing perfectly. He just completely owned him. Oh my gosh. Trades happening across all over the place. Everyone's just monging into each other now. The two soldiers get decent damage, but they don't manage to pick off Spaceship as he lives on 30 HP. So that is very unfortunate. And Ants is already coming out with some friendly talk in chat, thanking the scouts for not shooting at him.
Oh, there'll be no love lost in this game, I think. As Nerf's really far forward, he won't get aggressed on though. It's the classic fear of Nerf. They actually have so much room over the point here, and some good cap time as well. Although the health is much better for terrible tactics, but Ants does die.
Yeah, Ants dies on the side, but trades the Spartan in the end. They're going to have similar respawns. Jenga picks off Optivex on the flank, and because of that pick, they're actually just going to walk forward with no scouts to help protect the demo. They're just going to try and muscle their way through and make sure Worthy gets a little bit scared. He's actually have full beam though, and they have a slight Uberite. They managed to use that.
Oh,
Spartan is actually
eats the pipe and needs to force though.
Oh, Ambrose on 97%. He's gonna live, thank God. They're gonna have this Uber to repush, but they do have Spartan on Sniper. Ants is going behind already. And there's like so much stuff going on right now. Worthy is about to get picked off. It looks like they're going to get another frag onto a scout too, but Worthy lives. Juice just gets completely destroyed by Ants on the flank. And Spartan is back on. Spartan is on Sniper and ready to just pop some heads.
Yeah, Optivex doing a great job of like walking Worthy out there. Worthy was like dead to rights, and I think Optivex just kind of body blocked and didn't let him die. But Beats a little bit far forward dies.
Berta instantly jumps in and destroys Spartan while he was trying to get an angle onto the medic, so that's really unfortunate. They have a 10 to 15% Uberad though, and it looks like they want to use the fact that they have better respawns to try and muscle the way onto the point. Amber just completely dies though. Yeah.
Lovely rockets from Edsa.
Oh, they trade though. Juice manages to get Spaceship, and they're just trying to clean up all the damage that their soldiers created. Or will Worthy be able to hit the midi? No, he doesn't, unfortunate. They do trade medics though, but they are... Yeah. They're not looking good on the time department right now. I only just noticed they are like 2 minutes down.
Yeah, I don't think Spartan needed to die there. I think once they had the force, it's probably just better for him to live and push with his team now. Although the spawns are pretty forgiving.
Yeah, Juice is curiously in like very deep. He manages to get out though. Ants does get picked off as he tries to pressure someone. Spaceship goes down too. They're all trying to block the point, but they get punished for it. I don't see why you had to do that. I think the soldiers just managed to like mong into them perfectly. Oh my god, Berto just farms. He gets Juice and he was on an 8-kill streak right after that. He's such a beast.
Yeah, Worthy kind of fed a bit there as well.
Oh, Optivex is in. He's in. Oh, he manages to get the pick.
They do. They might clean up both these players actually. It's just Jenga versus Ants. And Ants wins that so weak. Wow. That's going to be another round. 2-0.
Optivex goes huge. In the main community, Optivex kind of get clowns for his act, but you know, he got those 2 picks where it really counted. He just went absolutely ham.
Yeah.
Looks like we're gonna, might be the last mid because, you know, the momentum's kind of, the momentum's kind of on the side of terrible tactics right now as they're looking to send their soldiers through. Ants is already trying to go behind. Spaceship does go down immediately though. Default manages to pick off Beats as well. Juice gets Birdo. 2 players down on the side of red team though. Nerf is going to try and clean up Worthy as he tries to salvage that play. Amber does go down to Optivex again.
Wow.
And Ants is still behind. Let's see what magic he can create. Manages to pick off Jenga as well. This is unfortunate.
Juice will surely get him. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, but with those delayed spawns, Ants getting that frag onto Jenga was perfect because like he has a better spawn and scouts are always too good on this map. And like Spartan was already on Sniper, Default's gonna get taken down. That's a big yikes.
Yeah, this is not a great situation to be in. Being 2 rounds down and then sort of just losing players and not being able to stem the flow. Trading meds, it's not good for morale. As he just lose Juice as well. Ants just like seeing a 2v1 he can take and taking it.
Yeah, Optivex is kind of chasing the Sniper alongside with Ants. Spartan gets taken down instantly. They like have a bunch of people onto that combo, but they're not going to get anything apart from Spartan. So yeah, they're just going to try and take back the point, consolidate all their position, and they're going to like wait until the wait until the red team push comes in.
Yeah, definitely.
Beats does manage
Beats
to get
dies,
picked off
yeah.
though. Yeah, that's really.
And they get Optivex as well. No
no,
scouts.
yeah, no scouts on this Uber is going to be really bad for post because they don't have a lot of room to run out. Spaceship is kind of waddling away, and he might get picked off. No, he doesn't. No soldiers are in position to capitalize off that. But yeah, they're just going to take back the point. Even Ubers though, so that's not bad on the side of blue. Like Spaceship not dying there was like perfect.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there was possibly a slight opening for default to bomb, but you can understand why you wouldn't take that. You'd not want to lose a demo in this situation.
Yeah, the time is starting to even up now. Colin Cancer is only like 20 seconds down, although Spartan does get taken out by Ants on the flank, and Ants is again looking to go behind. He is all the way on Ambro. One rocket, misses 8 rockets, but he still gets the last one. He gets another one onto Jenga, and wow, that was perfect. Spartan, like, I don't think they just don't know how to deal with Ants going behind.
Yeah. It might just be really hard for default, as I said earlier, to try to micro his team's pushes as well as trying to deal with these players behind. And I think maybe he can't take into account all these players who are behind when they try and push, because it seems like they just get collapsed on every time they sort of walk toward the point.
Yeah, full Uber ride onto the side of blue team though. We saw previously, like, it wasn't on cam, but Spaceship did get taken down a bit low on the force attempt, but he's going to use his Uber now. He's going to walk forward with Worthy. Worthy is kind of trapped off and sandwiched between like 8 red players now. Worthy looks like he's about to die. He does. Spartan goes down in exchange though, and Spaceship doesn't get out. He gets pistoled down by Nerf, and they're going to take back the point. They do have 2 delayed spawns though, and it looks like the soldiers and scouts are just going to walk. Nope, Nerf just instantly 2-shot beats. So that's kind of the iron wall again. Like, it's not as strong this time because they've been like losing, but like Nerf is just like ready to 2-shot people, man.
Yeah, and this is a really pivotal situation in the match, I think, for Colin Cancer. They've got their soldiers coming in really soon, and they've got
Sackwave
full
coming
Uber
in.
charge. Yeah, full Uber ad.
Ants is all the way behind again. He is landing on China. He's just gonna walk and waddle onto Ambro. Ambro gets taken down to 50 HP and he pops. Worthy gets taken down though.
Worthy, and Spaceship is so weak. I think he'll survive though. Didn't have a scout to beam.
He's out far enough to not get chased, and yeah, Bert actually gets a pick onto Juice, so that's really unfortunate. That's not gonna do them any favors. But they're not too close onto the side of blue team. They're still gonna take another like 5 to 10 seconds just to build and get out. So I'm expecting red team to kind of pressure them as much as they can to try and get this force out early. They do have both their soldiers up now. Juice has finally gotten that respawn, and looks like blue team are just going to try and slowly take space and try and walk forward.
Yeah, we see once again the flank going behind.
Oh, Optivex goes down. Oh no! Yeah. Worthy is in such a good position to get so much damage. He picks off Ambro. He's about to pick off Default as well. He managed to get out, but holy crap.
Yeah, I was focused on the flank. They answered a huge rocket onto Jenga, a massive direct, like,
Spartan!
Oh, Spartan, huge bomb.
Perfect bomb.
2 rockets on the
Juice manages to get beats as well, and he jumps out. Great play by the soldiers. Yeah.
And the spawns will be really rough. They'll be able to take this point.
Yeah, they're kind of clawing their way back in here. They're playing a lot more coordinated than before. Their soldiers are...
Double soldier bomb.
Yeah.
Oh, Default destroyed Birdo. Oh my god.
Nerf is on a 6k. Everyone is just kind of performing now, man. This is kind of the colon cancer that I expected to see, but didn't show up on the first 2 rounds.
Yeah. I mean, it's just exactly what you need when your back's kind of against the wall. Just sort of plain dominant TF2 for a little bit. See if it's like enough for them. They have better health here, and it seems like Worthy's getting pressured really hard. He can't get like any good spam off.
Optivex is really low though.
So weak.
Yeah.
He'll up though.
Spartan does die to Ants again, and Ants is trying to go behind. He manages to pick up Jenga, so that's not bad in comparison. Nerf picks off Optivex. They're going to try and block the point with this Uber, but Nerf is just left to dry alone. Default and Amber just walk away. And they're going to get picked off because they're going to get crunched in like their side. Holy, that was so unfortunate for Nerf.
Default once again, just like sort of too focused, or not focused enough on the flank, I think. I mean, not that I can criticize his main call, he's leagues above me, but yeah, I mean, sort of, he just let players slip behind there. I think the better play would have been pick off Worthy and the other players on concrete, and then just win 1v1s, I guess.
Well, they're kind of trying sack into this point with like 5 seconds left. They're not going to get much. They're going to run into the Uber of Optivex and Worthy, and they're going to try and live. They don't have too fast respawns, and Nerf goes down, and that signals the end of product.
Yeah, that's 3-0.
We definitely didn't expect that. Holy crap.
Yeah, no. I'm shocked. I guess they didn't need the upper 3 sniper.
Yeah, they really didn't. Ants kind of shows why he pounded. Like, he just walked all over them, like, in every situation. Like, every post, every, like, sack, he just either managed to get really good positioning to get some solid rockets on, or he just kind of destroyed everyone, like, on the flank. Like, he was walking through Connector with, like, 300, like, a few times, and then he just 2 rockets Spartan, and then he goes behind. Like, that happened so many times.
And he won so many, like, scout 1v1s, or at least survived in them, where he just had no right to. Like, Jenga shooting him from high ground, and he just hit a stupid direct on him. But yeah, I think we have the logs coming through now, though.
Yep, I am pulling them up right now, and the first thing that I see is that Worthy did 480 DPM. Holy crap! And Ants got 24 kills. What the hell is this?
God,
that's like the very opposite of an Ants log, man. I mean, he did die 20 times, but like he did a lot. It seemed like just Red Team couldn't get their foot in the door. Like, Nerf still had a pretty decent game. Like, he went 21-9, but default, like, at least in the kills department, he didn't do too great. He died 12 times.
Yeah, at 484 damage taken per minute. That's, like, a lot, no matter what way you look at it.
Yeah, he is...
And 46% heals.
Holy...
I mean,
their soldiers
that's a monster.
Like, their soldiers got, like, mega cucked in heals. There is literally only 700 heals on the side of Spartan. I think I've seen Spies get more heals in Highlander than him. Like, that is just... That's not pretty.
I think I've seen Disguise Spies get more heals for the other team than that. I mean, and this team does cuck their soldiers a lot with the heals. I mean, when you've got Default and Nerf on your combo, you're kind of forced to. But I guess it just didn't work out for them.
Yeah, other things to note though, Optivex having a huge game as well. He went 20-10. Like, I like, from scrimming these teams, I never really feel the impact of their scouts, but Optivex kind of just turned up. He went huge.
Yeah, definitely. Jenga also out DPM'd Nerf, which you're not going to see that happen again. We witnessed a miracle here.
Yeah. But even their just like their scouts, I don't think Colon Cancer scouts outclassed like the blue team scouts as much as Ants and Birdo outclassed the soldiers on the side of red. Like, that's where you really see that kind of heal disparity play in. Like, I wouldn't say like if they got more heals they would have done more, but you could certainly make that argument. Like, Ants would just get a buff and he would like walk through Connector and like I said before, he would just 2-rocket people.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you can't win a soldier 1v1 if the other soldier has a buff. It's just not going to happen. And I mean, 740 heals, that's hardly... I mean, what, he would have bombed more than 7 times. That means he's not getting a buff most time he bombs. And it doesn't matter how little you rate the other team's scouts. I mean, 200 health soldier is pretty clinical to deny. So, yeah, I think that might have been a bit of a problem for them.
Yeah, I don't think I want to get too caught up in product though, because it just kind of might inflate Ants' ego. Don't want to have that happen. Let's move on to Sunshine. Considering the way that these teams played, I'm expecting some interesting soldier mids. Like, I'm expecting Ants to go behind at some point, or like he's gonna pick off the medic in some really retarded fashion. Like, I don't know. What are your thoughts on Sunshine? This is the Colon Cancer pick though.
It is, yeah. I know they like to scrim Sunshine a lot, and it's a team they've practiced. It's a map they've practiced a lot. So, I mean, I assume they have a lot of confidence with it. Definitely more than product. It doesn't get scrimmed much, especially by Colon Cancer. They're a team who sort of like to just back their DM, and they think that can win them product. But on Sunshine, I think it's a chance for them to slow things down a lot. They do play a relatively slow version of TF2. I think being able to sort of slow the game down will be really important for them getting some momentum back. Just like catching soldiers who are overextending, who are behind, it's a lot easier to do when there's not like players 10 feet away from you. When there's like, a whole point or, a big wall separating you from them, from the rest of the combo, from the other team's combo, I think it'll be substantially easier for them to deal with players behind. So that might play into it. And I think maybe more structured play could suit Colin Cancer more with default carrying the comms. But yeah, I guess we'll see.
I'd say that's pretty accurate. 5CP is definitely a lot different to Koth, and I'd say Default's team is very well disciplined, especially because he's calling. And well disciplined meaning they play incredibly slow, and it's kind of incredibly boring in scrims. But like, it's kind of necessary in officials because you kind of want to win. I'd say this will definitely be a slower game, especially considering like this is the colon cancer map pick. So I'm kind of expecting like Nerf to just clean up soldiers, like only soldiers. Maybe get like 1 or 2 Ubers where he gets like a decent 3 or 4K. But I'm also expecting at the same time for Ants to go behind if that happens. Like I don't think this will be the most entertaining map, but I'm happy to be proven wrong.
Yeah, I hope I am too, and I actually hope we go to Reckoner. Not a map I enjoy, but I think it will provide like an interesting break from the TF2 we're used to seeing. But I mean, that's in the future. We got Sunshine coming up right now. As one team readies up. Yeah, just one.
Yeah. What are your kind of score predictions then? We said that this was a slow game. What are kind of the numbers that you're looking into then for the end of this game?
Well, I'm doubting my predictions after last game. But I'm gonna go with Colon Cancer taking it 2-1.
You read my
in
mind.
Golden Cup.
You read my mind because I had the exact same prediction. Yeah, I'd say this will probably be we can't understate it enough that we think this will be a slow game because we've scrimmed these guys quite often and we kind of know firsthand how slow it can be. I'd say if it doesn't go slow though, like if there's some fast-paced mids where like teams just full wipe, I'd say maybe like Colin Cancer take it 5-3, like at the fastest kind of game. But I doubt we'll be seeing that. I'm excited to see how not excited, but I'm interested to see how the scouts will play around Spaceship though, considering that the scouts might be a little weaker on the side of, on the DM department. I'm not sure how they're going to do well in protecting Spaceship and Worthy, because we did see them get picked off quite a bit, but like you just had Ants in return, so it didn't really matter. But yeah, it looks like we're going live into the second map. Why don't you take the first mid?
I'm watching Worthy, and he arrives to mid with 50 HP, which is not ideal, and he nearly eats a fat sticky from default. She could have brought him down to like 10 HP. Would have been disastrous. But it looks like they will just... Both teams will take their own right side, with Ants sort of eating a lot of spam up on Bell Tower.
Yeah, they're playing the spam game really well, and there are literally 6 people stuck in Cafe. They're going to try and walk across now. Optivex gets picked off immediately. Ants goes down as well. He craters. Worthy does have a bunch of space onto the left side though. He's looking to enter.
All alone though.
Yeah. Juice gets picked off, but he creates enough space for his team to pick off beats, and Worthy's going to get completely owned. Yeah. Chucking out the PD360 at the end, so that's a solid mid from the side of Colin Cancer. It looks like they're getting ready to chase. Spaceship is trying to get out of secret. Nerf is getting a bunch of chip damage, but he is gonna wisely preserve his life, and they're gonna slow it down and probably have this as the first stalemate of the game.
Yeah, Worthy didn't play that one the way I think he'd like to have played it. He sort of just like ended up in Cancer's Valley.
Oh, they're taking an aggressive Uber trade, yeah. Nerf gets dropped, Ants does die as well. There's a bunch of flashing onto the side of both teams though, and it looks like Spaceship's going to get out through secret. He's actually going to try and recommit. They have a solid amount of position onto Plat. Spartan does get a solid rocket onto Spaceship, but he gets a trade frag. It's just Optivex. Can he pull it out again? He gets Ambro. He gets a solid pistol onto default, but no. Damn. Optivex is really showing up.
Yeah. I think we'll see default try to camp the spawn, but I think he'll get stopped by Ants pretty early.
Yeah, he didn't even try to get the spawn in. He's kind of shaking his head in the process as well. But it's evened out. like both medics did die in that Uber trade, and they already have a heavy onto the side of blue team and an engineer as well. So I'm
Yeah.
not sure how they usually sack. Like they played so slow to the point where we didn't even see them sack in my scrims. So they're
Yeah.
probably just gonna send in like Juice or Spartan or something, try and do like some Tempest bomb, and then like Spartan will come up Spy or some crap.
Yeah, they have an interesting double sack where they'll send Janga and Spartan in. So you get the Scout and the Roamer going in. Not one that I personally like, but I think they do prefer to have the extra soldier presence on second if they're taking a trade.
Yeah, they already have a level 3 up onto the side of blue and a heavy, so they're gonna be able to deny these sacks relatively comfortably, unless something goes completely wrong. But otherwise it should be like easy pickings for the side of blue team. Spartan is looking to try and enter through top right. Looks like they've already heard that there's a gun and they're going to try and find their way to spam it out before any sacks come in. Default actually gets taken. Oh, Default eats a bunch of shit and dies.
Spartan's in and misses, shoots the heavy.
Yeah, he takes Optivex down to like 40 HP, but Optivex is not anything important to be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like they're going to try and get a bunch of pressure out. Default does come up though. He is not in the fight at the moment. They're going to try and push out. They have 2 people on last. What the hell? And they still managed to get their way out. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, Cancer played really scared there. I don't think they properly counted the amount of players who were in. If they had it, oh, actually, Ants, a nice shot onto default. That'll trigger the push out back into mid. We'll probably see Ubers exchanged here.
Ants picks up Jenga as well.
Juice picks up two himself though, and Nerf gets another one onto Birdo.
This is what looked really bad on the side of Colon Cancer. They're just gonna clean up all the damage that, you know, their soldiers created for them. Ants tries to get the midi, doesn't get that clip. He was close, but not enough.
Spun had a great trade with Optivex there. A 185 scout, and he managed to win it. It's pretty impressive.
Looks like they're gonna play the very minuscule ad that they have. I think they're gonna believe that they'll have ad because the spaceship wasn't building towards the end. So they're probably gonna try and like push, like not push it. Considering that blue team doesn't have any off classes though, this might turn out into a slightly bigger ad. Like those scouts, I'd say, are a decent bit more effective than soldiers at building, even if they have the escape plan out. So they get, it's gonna balloon into like a 30 ad.
Yeah.
This is kind of the thing to note with like Colon Cancer. Like in all the scrims that I played against them, they have really short build times, and they're like, they make sure their Uber is their #1 priority as they look to enter through under, scout demo through or no, they're going to rotate up through right. They've already lost a few.
They've lost a lot of time, yeah.
They managed to kill the gun though. They're not. I don't think they're going to get spaceship before he gets Uber. He's getting relatively close. 96%, 97, 99. He's managed to get the Uber. So close. The Uber engineer comes out. Nerf gets a bunch of cat time onto the point though. Ambro goes down after Birdo respawns. After Birdo jumps actually. There's a bunch of damage onto point. Spartan picks up a 2k. Spartan huge.
Massive bomb. Cleaning up those weak players. The classic bait soldier there. That was actually really good.
They played that post really well. I think someone on the side of blue team got really eager in trying to chase out Ambro, which doesn't really work too well because you have like 4 other players trying to fight you, like on different parts of the last. So they just all got distracted with killing Ambro, and then like they just died after Spartan gets unaccounted for.
Yeah, once again, Colon Cancer taking the default right side mid. But once again, they're really stuck in Cafe. These damaged players keep backing up into Ambro, and they sort of have nowhere to go.
Yeah, I think they're trying to bait soldiers in, but they're not budging. Optivex gets up Juice already. Spartan gets taken down really low. He's not able to help pressure. Worthy gets taken down by Nerf though. Looks like Ants is going to try and bomb in. He takes a bunch of high ground. Spartan goes behind as well. This is really weird to look from a skybox angle.
Yeah. Spartan looks like he might jump in now. He gets onto spaceship for free, but he doesn't quite connect the rockets.
Oh, Ambro drops.
Oh no.
Ants going huge again. He just manages to live long enough to get a solid 2 rocket onto Ambro as he tries to surf away.
There's no players in this post though, and spaceship goes down, and they'll probably chase out the frag onto Optivex, but he will get saved by Worthy.
Yeah, like right after Ambro died, they just managed to like collectively mong, but also like live at the same time to be ready for post, and then they just kind of collapsed on them.
Yeah, I mean they just had the players when Terrible Tactics didn't. Probably would have been a better play to leave there with the full Uber and re-push mid when that demo when soldiers arrived.
Yeah, and with spaceships having such a late death in that mid, they're gonna be at like a 20 to 30% uber disad. Nerf does go down though, so Ants gets picked up by Jenga. He gets a 2k. Juice
Yeah.
picks up a frag onto Worthy. Okay, this should be hopefully be
Oh,
around.
default. Another nice pipe there. But
Yeah,
Jenga,
they're gonna leave Jenga to cap. I don't think they're
yeah,
accounting for one player behind. It's Optivex, but he's getting out. Looks like they're gonna play. They're gonna try muscle the way in. Actually, they're not even
yeah.
gonna play the ad. Soldiers already in on
So
the
much
point.
cap
Yeah,
time. Oh my.
they just
The
had
pain
like
train, man, is the best weapon in the game.
yeah, they got onto the point before Amber even got Uber.
Yeah, default rocking the pain train because he doesn't fear scouts. It's just the best weapon in the game. What can I say?
Yeah, Pain Train is so fun. We're going into the third mid now. This is a 2-0 onto the side of Cancer's map
Worthy.
pick, so
Oh, 20 HP. Wow.
yeah, he's not playing his health pool very well. He just waits for an arrow and doesn't manage to get a lot of early damage. Juice cops a bunch of shit onto Bell Tower and then he just dies. Looks like Spartan is eating the same amount. He's not getting anywhere in any position. Jenga does the same. Spartan dies to an Optivex scattergun. It looks like they're going to take that mid. So kind of the thing that you needed on the side of Optivex team. Ants is in, gets a solid rocket onto Ambro, but he doesn't manage to pick up any more frags. Ambro's going to run out with 70 HP. And
Default dies and
Default
lowers
dies.
though.
Yeah, they're definitely going to start pushing this. There's no way they don't try and rush into us with this.
Although, I think Spaceship's decided cap points are more important, as has the rest of the combo, and they've given Default enough time to spawn here, at least to fight the post.
Yeah, he won't have any stickies on point, but he'll definitely be alive for the push. And it looks like they're going to use through early. They managed to pick off the gun. Looks like they'll be able to focus to heavy but before he gets Uber, but he doesn't. He gets flashed. And they're just going to clean up. Yeah, like you said, they were just a little bit too slow on that. Default managed to get a respawn and that just signaled the end of them. Spaceship
no,
dies
they
too.
Both get caught out in lowers.
And it
we
looks
have
like...
a pause.
Yeah, we have a pause. That is... Not sure if it's internet, not sure if it's tactical, but it's a pause nonetheless. What have you seen so far? This is like the first 9 minutes of Sunshine, and I think we've seen Colon Cancer get back to their, I'd say, relatively normal form.
Yeah, definitely. It's such a huge turnaround from product. Like 2 really quick rounds. Really good for momentum, and this like dominant hold would do even more for that. I think they'll have a lot of confidence, you know, to keep pushing this map, and then they'll probably be looking to. I think with a 2-0 lead like this, they might start to play a little bit slower.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. Obviously, you want to keep your round lead, and 20 minutes isn't too long. Like you can always just stay on last for 20 minutes, and wouldn't have a problem. Like I'm sure Red Team wouldn't have a problem with that, no matter how boring it is for us casters. But they do have an Uber ad after this pause ends, though. Like Spaceship did die towards the end. I think Amber will probably have around 20 to 30 ad by the time they get onto second. They're probably going to try and clean up these frags as well. Optivex is really deep in, and he's just staring at it.
So is Ants, yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of staring at a soon-to-be 260 demo and a soon-to-be 185 nerf, which is not pretty. Like, I think Ants is in a somewhat okay position to kind of jump in, though, but I don't think there's going to be much. He would probably just try and preserve his life.
Point as well. I mean,
yeah.
Juice isn't far enough away to only be doing the 5s. I think they're kind of both going to get melted. There's the chance they could both survive if they jump out, but I think just from their point of views, it looks like they're going to get baited into thinking it's just a demo medic, and I think they might both get caught out here, which I'd assume would give Colon Cancer a relatively free mid with the Uber ad as well as what would look to be a player ad.
Yeah.
Depending on how quickly they die.
A solid 2-point swing on the side of Colon Cancer does not help terrible tactics. So,
No.
pointing out the obvious. But yeah, like they had that last push if they decided to push a little bit faster before Default got that spawn. But they took too much time trying to spam out the gun, and they took too much time trying to decide where to go as well. Like if you just kind of rushed in while Default was dead and like consolidated instead of getting those cap points, I think you just would have been able to get in.
Yeah, yeah, and there was no one forward in lobby for them to clear. There were no traps or anything. There's not really any excuse for taking that long with a really late demo pick. I mean, any door was pretty free.
We have unpaused. Ants does get taken down. So I think that should be a free second onto the side of colon cancer.
Definitely.
So, might be a mid as well.
Yeah, just depending on who gets forwards. And no one else, so yeah.
They
Looks like
denied, they denied 3 forward spawns. They have
Yeah.
like a 50 ad.
they're rolling straight through Valley, actually. And with good solid regression by, I think it's Juice on the high ground. Oh, it was Spartan, actually. He sort of like gets really good spam and forces him out, as the rest of the players just look to leave.
Default did so much. Oh, as I say that, Ants picks up a solid 2k, which is like default and Ambro.
Yeah. I mean, there's no more important picks than that.
Ants just turning the tide for his team again. What I was about to say was like Default was doing such a good job at locking them out and forcing them away from Spaceship, who got out of choke, whereas everyone else just stayed in. Spartan gets a trade on the Optimus, which is very funny, but doesn't get anything else. But yeah, like Default was doing such a good job at locking out the players out of choke, so that they couldn't get healed by Spaceship. But then yeah, they just didn't account for Ants again. Ants just kind of runs in and gets a solid 2k. And they have kind of ballooned this into a, what is it, a 80% ad by the time that they get? Not 80, I can't count, like 60. So
Yeah, and it looks like they'll also be giving up second completely for free, as you'd expect with no heals.
yeah, we have Nerf on the Brass Beast Heavy and then Jenga having a sentry gun up. Don't know why the pause happens still, but they're just going to keep continuing anyway. Like, pause is over. Yeah, looks like they're going to be pushing this. They're taking a lot of time to spam out this gun though. They only just get it down now. They are getting really close to Uber, 15% more on the side of Ambro. They're going to try and kite this before, so that he gets...
No focus on Ambro, it's all on Nerf.
Oh no, he dies with 99!
Oh, that's tragic.
They're gonna,
And it looks
they
like
have decent numbers to block the point though. Juice is really low, Jenga's really
they
low.
don't have the
and,
health though,
Yeah,
no.
Jenga's probably going to get picked off even though he gets fried into Berto, and yeah, that's a solid round. That was... If Ambro lived for like one more second, man, that was really unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean, that was just a completely different last if that happened. It would have been, you know, Uber charge, a heavy still up. Man, that's one of those TF2 things.
Yeah, it seemed that pause came because Worthy was lagging out a bit, but it looks like it's fine now. We're back onto the 4th mid of this map. Worthy is copping a bunch of damage again. He only gets arrowed like now, and he is not even on like full HP. Spartan's already in deep. He's trying to get a rocket onto Spaceship, gets absolutely nothing.
Nice pipe from
yeah.
Worthy as well.
But they have so much positioning. Like Spartan opened up the whole mid for them. Although it looks like they can just... Ants gets taken down, Juice gets taken down. Not a lot of soldiers. The only one left is Birdo, and yeah, they're going to take back the point. Hopefully, it's 4 and 5 at the moment. Nerf is just going to try and pick off Worthy as he tries to forward on left. This is a really sketchy team fight.
Yeah, doing some really good damage actually, making both of the combo players for colon cancer rotate back for heals.
Yeah, they're not giving up any ground. Ambro is getting really close to using. Yeah, he pops. So does Spaceship. Interesting pop by Spaceship considering he wasn't very low. I think he might have saved Worthy there.
Yeah, he was saving Worthy there. Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like they're gonna try. This is gonna be another mid fight again.
Yeah.
Birdo gets picked off.
Birdo dies immediately though, and Beats dies as well.
Yeah, they're getting collapsed on now.
They probably should just leave here.
And Optivex might be trapped in. No, he gets out. Yeah. So it looks like Spartan's gonna try and go in.
Oh, he gets destroyed.
Worthy's just destroying these kids.
Yeah. I don't know about this lag theory. I'm not sure how real that is.
Oh no. Juice was waiting for an arrow but gets picked off by Optivex. Ants also is dead in the process. Yeah, I'd say that. Well, they're actually going to push Cafe. I'm going to reserve that thought. Yeah, they have like 10% ad. I'm sure they don't know it though. They're just going to try and pressure and then back out.
They've actually got no one watching the flank here. There's a absolutely free valley push for whoever sort of wanders that way, but sort of both teams playing really clumped up.
Yeah, Optivex goes down. They don't even have Uber yet. It's probably going to reset into a stalemate. Looks like they're going to send a sack in though.
Yeah, Spartan can't really get anything.
Ants is in on the counter sack and he doesn't get anything either. Only gets like 1 or 2 rockets onto default. Yeah, what I was going to say on that bid was that like the only reason why... well, not the only reason, but like the coordination of the side of red team, like even though they were 4v5, they would focus fire one player and then that one player would have to go back to like Cafe or to the medic to get healed. So they were effectively playing like 4 on 4 like every 5 seconds. Like default, Nerf and Jenga would just focus down like Beats or something. He'd get forced out of the fight, and then they'd focus down Worthy, and then he'd get out of the fight. Like it was really like perfect coordination to save
Spartan gets forced though, and Juice kills Birdo.
They lose
Will get
2.
traded out.
It's a double sack, but they're going to trade this Uber on mid. They're going to pick off beats, most likely. He gets taken down. Jenga gets taken down, though. He gets dropped. Looks like Worthy might get called out, too. He eats a pipe from default. 3 on 3, actually. This isn't too bad, but there is no positioning on the side of blue. Ants looks like he might get a free pick onto Nerf, but he beefs a few rockets. He beefs a lot of rockets, actually, and looks like he might... Look, he hits the wall. Here's the roof.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I'd have given up 3 rockets ago, man.
Yeah. At least he didn't die, so it's not that bad. Like, he didn't kill himself on the roof or something, so it's not that much of a meme, but it's fine. There was an engineer for a second onto the side of blue team, but it looks like that's not the case. Spartan does die, so I think we'll be seeing an off-class come up. There's no way they're going to push out of last with the 1-player ad. Ants does get a bunch of damage onto Ambro, but Ambro surfs right into the pack, so that's their counter-sack, and Spartan is going to come up maybe as an off-class? Looks like he isn't. No. Maybe they want to trade this off player ad, considering that Ants has a slightly worse respawn, but no, Spartan isn't even going to get there in time, so yeah. Looks like they're going to try and set up for just a normal sack somehow.
Yeah, looks like Juice might be going in top right, and jumps into traps and a sentry and a heavy, so nothing happening there, actually. Surprisingly.
Yeah, clearing the traps with your head is not the go. Looks like Ants is going to be getting ready for a counter sack though. I think he's going to be trying to get out of bats. He's actually through lower, but eats a rocket from the person who was holding that area, and he just manages to get out, so no counter sack. Juice is up on Spy though, and he is committed.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad we're going to see some action.
Yeah, it hasn't actually been too slow of a game like we predicted.
No, not at all.
Yeah, slowing down now, that's for sure.
Yeah, I can feel it coming.
Looks like they've already started to spy check. I think Ants might have spy disguise check, but even if that's not the case, they have a heavy just shooting everywhere and spy checking.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how they support their spy here.
The spaceship's so far, like, back in the corner.
Beast is just literally shooting in every corner possible. Oh, Juice is actually in a solid spot though. If he... Oh my god, no, poor Juice.
Spaceship just like running into every corner there, trying to find someone to put his back and heal his team. And he just found Juice. Pretty unfortunate.
Man. I've been in those situations before. That's a scary moment as a spy when you're trying to avoid a heavy. Looks like Ants is going to try and go in from low and try and get the counter sack in. He actually manages to... Wow, he nearly traded with Spartan, considering how low he was, so that's not bad.
Yeah.
It looks like Juice is holding up the spawn door for Jenga to go spy now. Jenga is also committed. Okay, we have a different spy. Maybe Juice is just not that much of a gamer on spy. Ants is on spy as well. I think he might be checking though. He might not be committing. No, he's committed as well. Okay, we've got double spy action now.
I think it was just a regular round robin game where we saw a pretty questionable Ants spy play. So I'm sure he'll be looking to redeem himself. Yeah, the Ants spy is very, I don't know, peculiar. I don't think it's the best aspect of his game, but you know, maybe you can prove me wrong. He's already through. He is just gonna wait until his cloak comes up. I'm gonna try and spot where Jenga is right now. Yeah, I don't think Jenga's checked disguises either, so they wouldn't know they have a spy yet. And he has... Oh, Jenga! Oh no! Both spies get found out at the same time. Jeez, rough game for anyone who plays spy. Yeah. I mean, that's just... It just do be like that sometimes. Both players are going to come up at the same time. Be interesting to see if they come up as anything, but they don't. They're just going to come up with different classes. I mean, like, doesn't really matter on the side of Colon Cancer though. They're up one round. They don't really need to sack continuously and bash their head into a wall. Like, they could just literally sit on second and do absolutely nothing and just wait for them. Yeah, I mean, at some point, that's going to click with Ants is in. Get caught out. Oh no! Ants dies. Optivex dies. This is not the play. They're gonna try. They're gonna try and muscle their way into Shutter. I think they're gonna want to try and spam out this gun first before they get in. Yeah. No NG up. You can't keep the gun alive at all. Yeah, but they're trying to flood through one doorway to kill the gun, and it's not working. They haven't even spotted the gun. Birdo stuffs, Nerf and Default into a doorway. Nerf gets dropped by Worthy. This is a great Uber on the side of blue team. He gets Ambro as well. Oh no. They just got too over-eager there. They tried to stuff like 8 players through one doorway to try and kill that gun, and they just all ate a bunch of shit, and then like Ambro had to flash like 8 people, and then there was so low for post. Spartan dies as well. This is not a great situation for the side of red team.
they might be losing. They'll definitely lose second off this, and they might even lose mid. Actually, no. Spartan is Juice is in. Actually, he manages to pick off Berta. He trades, but that's not too valuable in that instance, sadly.
Yeah, that's a really big misplay there. It seemed like they had a plan and they just couldn't quite execute it. I think there wasn't enough information on where that gun actually was, and it didn't take any spam while the engineer was down.
I mean, there's no way they didn't spot the gun. Like, that gun has been used like so many times. I think they just got over eager and they just tried to stuff their way through, and they just paid the price for it because they all ate the same spam. But they have like a 30% Uber rad now. Again, Nerf has been building super hard though, so it's not going to be. They might be able to kite. They might be able to like re-enter mid with an Uber after the blue team uses theirs. As they're trying to enter through Valley. Ants is trying to jump in, make a bunch of space. Spots a soldier on Cafe already. That soldier isn't even looking at him. He's going to get a free pick onto Spartan maybe. Jenga goes down as well. I think they would. Ambrose gets taken down at 80 HP. This is really unfortunate. They might lose second off of this as well. They're going to try and muscle in with their player out. They haven't capped mid though. They're just taking a bunch of space. They're not even bothered about denying these spawns. Yeah, Jenga and Spartan don't even get the spawns anyway, so that's really unfortunate. I'd say if Jenga didn't, like, Spartan dying there is like relatively okay, because he was probably trying to get the force anyway, but Jenga dying there didn't help. And it looks like it's going to just reset into another stalemate, but this time red team is defending again.
Yeah, I mean, a botched Uber push, just like completely turning the tides. That's exactly what terrible tactics needed on this map. Just something to go their way. You know, a bad situation turning around for them. As they're actually really aggressive in the lobby here, all 6 players. A trade here could be pretty devastating for them.
Do they think they have ad? Like, Optivex just does a sack. Okay, scout sack, interesting. Runs into a sentry, just dies. Sentry is in a different spot to what the blue team likes to do, though. Like, blue team usually has theirs on the corner of the point, whereas Jenga has his on, like, behind. He's actually moved it now. Spartan goes in for the counter sack, same with Berto. Just trade soldiers, so yeah, nothing much happening. Optivex doesn't come off an off class as well.
Yeah, no off classes.
Might be a Berto off class, though. Nope, he decides to commit, so he decides to stay soldier. I mean, 80 centimeter gaming. I don't think you can really off-class much, so... Juice, what is it? Spartan doesn't come up in off-class either. They're not even spy checking. They're just... I think they might try and spam out the gun, maybe, and try and get a better sack in from there, but, like, they're still around down. Like, 8 minutes left, they still have a fair amount of time. They're, like, stuffing their way into lobby now. This is really precarious. Man. This is a really weird position. I'm not comfortable with this.
Just like a demo solo in there could be. Well, actually,
yeah, like exactly like you said, the demo solo. They're gonna try and get the gun. The gun does eventually go down, but that's all they get with this Uber, and red team hasn't even popped. Yeah. They're gonna try and get the gun and I think they were gonna try and get the gun and force the Uber and then re-enter right, but they didn't. They didn't get the force out, so it looks like they're gonna try and slowly muscle their way out of last now. There is a spawn that just came up, so he might be in the fight. Looks like Spartan is on last, trying to defend that, making sure no one goes into back cap. Default is going to try and use his full Uber rad. He's trying to enter through lower left onto the attacker's side, onto his perspective. He's not even getting forced yet, although he's really crushed.
Good bomb.
Yeah. Ants is just sitting on high ground and then just got the drop on them. Looks like they're not going to get too many frags with this. Default actually gets dropped. Default's just being overeager again. He manages to magnet a worthy pipe, and then they're not even going to cap second off this. Jenga's going to die. Spartan's the only one on last. Scoops is trying to get out. Yeah, if
20-second spawn for Jenga.
If Default didn't die in that post, it would have been like a relatively okay Uber, even though they didn't get anything. But he's not even going to be up to defend last. A full Uber out on the side of blue team. They managed to pick off Juice and Spartan. Nerf comes up as the brass piece heavy. Only gets 1 pick. He's on 300. Gets focus fired down instantly. And yeah, this looks like it's going to be a blue team round.
Man, Worthy did so much work that round. Like, he just stayed alive for so long. And
Worthy is farming.
Yeah, I think he had like something like a 10 kill streak at the end. He was like surviving every push and picking up the frags as well. Pretty huge.
Fifth mid onto the side of this relatively fast-paced game now. Default eventually, like, immediately dies, and they're just gonna run Default. And they're actually gonna send their 2 soldiers to try and salvage anything, but they get a solid rocket onto spaceship, but nothing else. They actually tried to all monk for the med. Ants was behind that whole time. He manages to pick off players as they were retreating, and Jenga's the only one alive trying to run. And it looks like Nerf is just gonna get out on his lonesome.
Yeah, complete momentum shift again. Like, just a dominant mid, and they'll roll it through to second and a fully red for last, without time for an engineer, as they stack the second point again.
Yeah, Nerf is on heavy, Juice is on Pyro. I'm not sure about that, but, you know, it could work out. He's too far back to even do anything. I don't agree with this at all.
He might be trying to protect the gun.
I don't think that would be too smart.
It's only
I
a
mean,
level 1, I don't think...
Oh,
no!
default!
Oh,
Oh my god, holy
that's
crap.
crushing.
Default just completely annihilated the men.
Yeah. No one checked for traps. Once again, I think they're a little bit overeager there. They just thought they had a free push, and...
Or someone's into Birdo's in onto the medic, doesn't get the fat mid either. Amber lives on 50 HP. God damn.
Man, just...
And dies trading with Spartan. Yeah, I didn't even look at where Default put the trap. I just saw the kill feed light up and he killed Worthy and Spaceship, and I was like, dude, you can't be doing that.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but I mean, they're gonna have somewhat okay positioning to maybe even get a force out. They're at 60%, so they might even be able to hold second if they kite long enough. They're actually really deep in. They really want to get the force, and Default is just gonna try and muscle his way through.
Oh,
Amber
they're gonna
drops. No, Ants comes up huge again.
Ants was unspotted. There was no scout with him. I think Nerf was sort of on the low ground there and couldn't actually see him jump from that awning.
Juice! Oh my god!
Oh, he gets the skill stick on the spaceship, and he might catch Worthy here too.
No way, he got the health pack and he got
man.
Worthy. Oh my gosh. Okay.
He might spawn campaigns? No, I don't think he will.
Okay, all the players that we usually clown on are going absolutely huge. And he manages to trade with Ants as well while he was on 120 HP. Jesus Christ. This game is turning out to be really good. It's 4 minutes left now, 2 all. Might be seeing a golden cap, who knows. Even Uber's onto the side of both teams. Birdo might get caught out in Cafe, Nerf just picks him off. He might actually manage to pick off Beats as well, he's taking a 1v1 there. Beats manages to weasel his way out, but they're gonna reset. I mean, what do you do on the side of both teams? It's even rounds. Deadlocked, even Ubers.
Man, if I'm colon cancer here, well, I wouldn't want Jenga to die for a start, and oh wow, they're getting so aggressive through Valley here. Terrible tactics are. Oh, they've done so much damage. A huge ball from Ants actually picks up Default. He will die for it, but that'll open up a lot of room for them. Spartan with a counter bomb, he doesn't have the same effect though, as they'll lose players and be back on last.
Default has a 5-second respawn. Again, if they tried to rush that in, they could have gotten around, but it looks like they're deciding to go through under just now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to try and rush their way through as Default doesn't have any stickies onto point. They might actually get a few picks here. Jenga's still building his level 1.
So much as well.
The gun hasn't gone down yet. Juice manages to get a solid rocket up to Optivex. Worthy might get caught out if he's trying to exit lower. Birdo gets taken down. Nerf takes down Beats. Oh my gosh. That's a kind of a botched last push there. Spaceship goes down to Default as well.
Oh man, Default's so deep in lobby there. But he's got the support of his team. And Ants sort of just jumping around behind him and dying.
He gets taken down. Optivex I think is trying to hide in Valley, but he's going to eventually get out. Worthy had some traps set up. He's going to retreat as well. Yeah. Man, this is a really chaotic game.
Man, there's so much action and wow. Definitely not what we predicted at all.
Yeah, this is now going to be a 50% Uber out onto the side of Ambro, and they're going to try and balloon it up to make it 60. It looks like they're going to try and muscle their way through Cafe. I think Default wants to take this bomb in. He wants to try and maximize his damage and make his logs look incredible even if he loses. They're taking their time with this though. Blue team is grinded just as hard. They're on 30% away, and they're taking their time to get in through Cafe. They're just getting spammed out. Juice is trying to make space for them. He is eventually going to die, probably. Ants is just stuffing them in the doorway.
Oh, and he picks off Nerf.
If they don't get Spaceship with this, they're not going to hold mid at all. They lose 2. They're about to probably lose another.
And Chang is so deep. And Default's going to get caught as well.
Ambrose on AHP.
Ambrose dead, yeah.
No, this is not what you want to see.
This is half left. Oh, and Jenga's gonna die as well.
Oh, this is the grand final chokies.
Oh! He gets spaceship!
Jenga huge! Jenga. He drops the question mark too.
He puts the question mark in chat. Oh. What a player. Oh my god.
What a toxic pug lord. Holy crap. Oh, there's actually someone on Salasto. Ants tries to sack.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, they're getting over-eager with the time here. I think they're a little worried with just a minute left on the clock. And they sort of feed ants there. I think they just need to buff and then get ready for one final push.
Even though Red has a slight Uber ad, they're not even going to bother with this. They're just going to set up their off-classes and make sure they don't get capped. How would you push this? Like, this is going to probably be like an even Uber push. They have a gun already. Nerf is probably going to switch onto heavy the moment that they get Uber, so...
Yeah, look. I mean, it's just one of those pushes where you have to kind of hope that everything goes your way.
Yeah, you kind of have to hope someone gets dropped. They're meticulously clearing traps. They have 30 seconds left.
I think it's the wrong play to wait for Uber. I think they should have just buffed and gone when there was still like a minute on the clock.
I mean, they're 20 seconds left, so they're really hoping that they get in. They are trying to stuff 4 players through this right doorway.
And they're going to have to play the point immediately.
Yeah, they use through to try and not get caught by default's trap. They get the sentry down immediately. 9 seconds left. They're just going to pop to save the point. This is going to be a golden cap.
That's golden cap, yeah.
Actually, 2 seconds? No, okay.
No.
Yeah, there were a few frags. There was a few frags on each side, but nothing happens. Jesus Christ, that was... Wow, that was very backward and forth.
Yeah.
Big plays coming out from every player. Like, I don't know. I hope they ready up soon because I want to see more of this. Maybe we have time to check logs, but who knows? Like, I mean, just right after the game, what are your thoughts?
Oh, so many, man. Like, such a chaotic game. So much happening. So back and forth. There's like no team who's clearly been performing better. I mean, some chaotic pushes. I think that pick from Janga onto Spaceship at the end was so massive. I mean, there were like 6 players in choke, and he just like walked through them all and killed them. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, everyone having like kind of a standout play throughout that whole map.
Yeah,
I'd say. We do have logs up though, or I'm not sure how long we'll get to analyze it, but from what I've seen now, like just DPM numbers, you kind of see a slow game. Although Worthy kind of fisted. He had top damage in the server. He went to 90 DPM. Ants wasn't far behind. Ants actually nearly picking up top frag, but that actually belongs to Juice and Nerf. They managed to pick up 21 and 23 respectively. So that's, I mean, these are numbers that we do not usually see in scrims, that's for sure.
No, not at all.
I think in like 90% of scrims and games, I've seen Juice go negative and like less than 200 DPM, but he turned it up this game.
Yeah.
Same, like, Ant's doing a bunch of work for his team as well. He went 20 but died 26 times, so I'm pretty sure every one of those 26 deaths meant something.
Yeah.
Spartan not really having a great game KD wise. He went 8 and 23, but he did a bunch of damage as well. He went 240 DPM. Beats kind of having a poverty DPM game. Same with Optivex. Same with Jenga as well. That's kind of really showing why he's the best scout in the server. But I mean, I guess we can look at heals quickly as well. Like, pretty much as expected. It wasn't as there wasn't as much of a big disparity onto the side of like compared to product. Like, we had Spartan and Juice taking a lot more heals this time. Unfortunate that we see that Amber had 2 drops. I'm pretty sure one came from mid, and I can't remember where the other one was. But those 2 drops might have been the thing that cost them.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Yeah, it's really hard to tell. Like, I don't think you can put the blame on any particular player there. I think. I mean, I don't. The fact that I don't remember the second drop, or maybe it was the first. I don't remember one of the drops, so I think that means it kind of had a huge impact. But yeah, I mean, he wouldn't be happy with that. You don't. Dropping's not fun.
From what I can tell, just like psychologically, like, you can really see Red Team having a little bit of those grand final chokies. Like, they are getting just really overeager on some of these pushes, and every time I see them go in, it's just like, I'm really scared that Ants is just gonna like poop on them from behind or something. Like, they're still not doing a great job of accounting for Ants. Like, he's just getting in at really. It's either Ants is playing extremely out of his mind and he's just picking every timing like he's some sort of god, or like default is just getting too caught up and trying to call for the rest of his team, and then the flank just lets them in. It might be a bit of both. I'm not sure, but like again, it's just kind of Ants and Worthy doing a bunch for their team, and then Default and Nerf, and surprisingly Juice this map doing a lot for their team.
I think adversely, Terrible Tactics, there were a few times where they just kind of stood around doing nothing when there was like a pretty clear path to take. I mean, just that last push, pushing in with 20 seconds on the clock, I mean, you've pretty much guaranteed that you're not going to get the last push. I think waiting for Uber was just not the right play. It would have. I think I'd rather take a dry fight than an Uber exchange, especially if it means I'm going to have like time for possibly some spawners to come in and bomb the point or whatever. So I think maybe they're just taking it a little bit, playing a bit too safe. But yeah.
We are going into Golden Cap though, and Golden Cap starts with the mid, and I don't think Colin Cancer have been playing these mids well at all. Like, they're just stuffing themselves into cafe, and I don't know how you would. I don't know if they're aware that they're eating shit in cafe like the whole time, but I hope that they are.
They've won 3 of the 5 mids.
It definitely doesn't feel like
they
it.
don't. Yeah, they're not the convincing mids. I think one of them might have been, but they're generally not like the classic. You know, the other team pretty much wiped. I think they haven't cleaned up spaceship every time.
Yeah, I think their play is to just try and have Nerf and Django pick off those soldiers.
Yeah.
Like, but those like Birdo and Ants are like so disciplined this game that they haven't even been bothered to bomb into 2 scouts, unsurprisingly. Like,
yeah, they're reading default strategy perfectly, and they're just deciding, all right, we're not going to bomb until you guys do.
Yeah, like they're just playing the spam game, and I think they're getting lots of early spam. Like, even though Worthy rolls out with like 40 HP by the time it gets to mid, like Default is just getting down to the same HP just because of spam. Like, Worthy just gets there because like he probably beefs his rollout or something, and Default might get an early sticky. But like Birdo and Ants are probably just kind of focus spamming Default at the start, I'm assuming. Like for what, and then like they just get a lot more room to walk forward, because if Default's your driving anchor, and like if you're a demo and you're the driving anchor of your pushes and your mids, and you're just getting spammed out, you can't, like, he's not making enough space for his team. So like it leaves a lot less room for Nerf and like the soldiers to walk forward. Another thing to note is that those soldiers on the side of red team, they haven't been getting any success with their bombs. Like, I'd say Ants, if he lives for more than like a minute on that mid, he's gonna probably pick up 2 frags.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, and it might just be like a similar thing that they're not getting the same heals. Sorry, that Spartan and Juice aren't getting the same heals as Birdo and Answer. But I don't know. It's sort of the bombs just aren't working for them, and they're not as coordinated as definitely not as coordinated as Terrible Tactics are. So I think that's going to be like a pretty big part. And if you can have a dominant mid in a Golden Cap, it gives you such a good chance to take a round.
This is definitely do or die on the side of Cancer. This is their map pick. They lose this round, they are going home at 2nd place. This is not what I expected, considering that Colin Cancer have been the dominant team throughout the main season, and a Terrible Tactics only picked it up really recently. But considering that like they've improved this much, like I'd say they're in a comfortable position to take it.
Yeah, I think they certainly feel comfortable. I think Default would be really good at calming like the team down. The players who haven't played in a final before might be getting a bit amped up. I think he'll be doing a good job of like making sure they're playing their game properly and not getting overhyped or whatever.
One thing to also note as well is that those later rounds like came off the back of Terrible Tactics. Like, they won the most recent round, so they're probably, and they were the ones pushing into last. So I think they still might be having some like a little bit of momentum. Especially, and I don't think these guys would be as maybe tiltable, or like maybe not like tiltable, but like less. Yeah, I just don't see them like losing their shit. Pretty much. I feel like these guys are like much calmer gamers. Obviously, if they win, they're going to like lose their minds, but like I don't think they're going to tilt off the face of the planet, or like they're just going to lose their composure and just beef a bunch of shots.
Yeah, no, I doubt it.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know. I hope we see something different on the side of colon cancer for their sake. Like, I hope they manage to do something different on mid, like
yeah,
go left or something, like catch out people who try and enter through like their valley. Because I'm pretty sure Ants has been going behind, like, after his demo takes space, like from like his Tetris. I'm pretty sure Ants manages to just go behind valley. It's either that or he manages to enter cafe really fast. I'm not sure, but it's something that you kind of want to stop and keep track of. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, like they're definitely trying to calm themselves down now. No, what is it? No harm in doing that. Default probably went for a smoke, like a smoke or something.
yeah. He tends to do that normally when 11 players are ready to ready up. He pops off for a dart, but no harm done, I guess. It'll give players, especially on his team, like a bit of time to cool down. One
Yeah,
thing I might mention is I think that the last holds from colon cancer have been a little better. I think they've managed to win more like convincingly on their lasts than terrible tactics have. So that might play into if they do like win a convincing mid, there might be a little bit more comfort there for colon cancer than if say if colon cancer managed to take a really dominant mid and roll it to last.
I'd say um, these mids too. Like they
Yeah,
oh, default disconnected while he's rejoining.
yeah,
I'd say for these mids, like we're probably going to see something very passive too. Not very passive, but like I'd say the moment like any one of their players die, they're probably just going to run it out. I don't think they want to like. I don't think they want to risk their chances. Like this is like I wouldn't be surprised if they play incredibly slow. So
yeah. I don't think we'll see any drastic changes on the mids. Just purely because a pretty tense golden cap in a grand final isn't where you want to be
yeah,
doing a meme mid or something.
I'd say this golden cap probably won't be like a what is it like a scrappy DM fight that gets prolonged like we've seen
No.
in one of those other mids. I'd say it's either a complete roll or like default would probably die instantly and then they just 5-man run it out.
Mm.
I'm interested to see if Juice or Spartan will be able to get anything with their bombs or if they even bomb at all. Because
Mm.
I'd say they're lacking a little bit of the discipline that Ants and Birdo have. Because
Definitely.
like I'd say if default is not getting any room to work with on mids, they're gonna try and use like Spartan and Juice to do that. But then Spartan and Juice like bombing into 2 scouts with like 180 HP half the time is like not what you want to have. And even if you think those 2 scouts can't aim, like Worthy will probably air shot one of them anyway. So like it's a tough thing to try and adapt to be honest. Like I'd
Yeah.
say it's really up to colon cancer to try and pull something out. Like
Oh, definitely.
like the Optivex team is literally a map up, and
Mm.
the next pick is Reckoner, which is their pick. So
Yeah. It'll. Yeah. I mean, definitely. You always want to. I mean, mids are so important in TF2. But especially when it's a grand final for colon cancer, it's so much more important that they win this mid than it is for terrible tactics. Because I mean, if it just puts so much pressure on them if they don't manage to, or if they do get put in a really bad position, then it'd be really tough for the mental to try and come back from that.
I think we've said all there is to say. To be
Yeah,
honest, like we've just waiting on their ready ups now. Like very tense moment for these guys. So
I don't know how long it takes default to have a dart, but
yeah, I'm a lot happier that I'm not playing in this because I don't want to deal with this stress, man.
God, no.
Apparently, Juice just left their comms,
Oh, that's
so
interesting.
not great. I'd say. Hopefully, they don't like forfeit or anything. That would be like a
Can
really.
you forfeit a final?
I'm sure they don't want to. Like that's for sure. There's no way that they would just like forfeit a
Yeah,
final.
they'd play with 5 before they forfeit, I think, and we'd never hear the end of it. How they would have won.
Juice's mic apparently just died, so
Right.
very unfortunate.
I wonder if they might be trying to call a Merc in. I
I'd
know that
assume
Juice has been having computer problems all week, so they've been playing most of their scrims with a Merc.
if they get a Merc, it would probably be like Kowski if he's alive, because they used
They'd ask
Kowski last
Kowski.
week.
Yeah. I think Kowski doesn't quite fit the mold of the team as well as Juice does, because Kowski really likes to be proactive on pocket. He sort of stands in chokes, eats a lot of damage, and does a lot of spam.
Yeah, he uses his kind of DM advantage compared to
Yeah.
Juice a lot more, but
Mm.
because he's doing that damage, he's probably like taking more heals and
Yeah.
it's taking away from default's ability to call and just walk forward.
Yeah.
Like they've really molded their identity to the point where it's literally like only default and nerf beam, whereas Juice's client just
crashed,
died.
yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay, well, it looks like would be hella funny if like Juice just restarts his PC and then they just instantly lose in a 130 golden cap. But I mean,
Don't say that. Come on.
it would be funny, but it would not be great for either team. Yeah,
I really hope we actually see a third map here. This has been a really exciting final. I mean, even though it's kind of a stomp on product, there was still like a lot of good TF2.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're kind of only seeing the start of what should have been, or what has been and will continue to be a really good match.
I mean, we don't have much to talk about anymore. We have 300 viewers here, so we might as well just go over what we've seen just then, like quickly. Like on product, we just saw Ants going behind a bunch,
Yeah.
and Ants just like owning on the flank, taking buffs, taking 1v1s, winning nearly all of them, and then whenever he did get a pick onto the combo, it was in very important, intense situations. Yeah. But and that has kind of carried over onto Sunshine as well.
And Worthy's been like pounding all game harder than Default has. So,
yeah. I'd say in game you can kind of notice Worthy's presence a lot more, because he's just doing a bunch more damage and just shooting the things that his team needs to be shot at. But like you could definitely argue that Default is doing a lot more for his team personally, like just in the comms and just micromanaging everyone.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's just not much left to say. We're just waiting.
T-1 minute is the word from Spartan. He says that Juice's mic works and he's coming back.
I sure hope so. Yeah, we're just waiting on Juice at the moment. Juice did have a pretty big game on Sunshine.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you're losing Juice, like, I don't think... Even if they sub him out for, like, a better DM player, like we said about Kowski, I don't think it'll be too great.
No, I think... No matter who not no matter who, but I think pretty much any Merc is not preferred over a core player in a final. Just to keep the synergy up and keep the morale going.
Yeah, for sure. It's been over 15 minutes since the regular time ended, so Juice is now rejoining.
And this luckily. Is pretty much deflate any like nerves or hype that the teams have.
Yeah.
Like just having to wait this long in SOAP DM, I mean, you just kind of get bored out of your mind.
I mean, I've been in this position before, like last grand finals, although in open, it was very what is it?
Thought you'd drop that in there, did you?
Yeah, definitely. Nah, it's very tense, especially when you're just waiting in the comms and you're just waiting for their team to ready up. Like, it's very distressing. But Juice has come back. He's alive, and hopefully they're gonna start soon.
Yeah, you'd think so. I don't think they'd want to keep them waiting any longer than they already have.
Who do you want to watch on this mid once it happens? What do you like? What do you want teams to do? What do you think teams will do?
I really want Worthy to arrive at mid with like 130 health. Because the amount of stickies he's hitting, if he can like just walk forward and actually like be able to tank some damage, I reckon he'll get so much more done than he is on like 50 HP.
Agreed, and with that, we have Golden Cap starting. This is Terrible Tactics versus Colon Cancer on the second map of the Season 29 main grand finals. We have Worthy coming onto mid with 40 HP. Worthy is eating a bunch of shit, except he is going to get an arrow, and it looks like they're just going to stay in Cafe. Ants is getting really aggressive again. He is going to try and go behind. Juice is going to look to chase him on 100 HP. Birdo has some high ground. It looks like they're just all swarming onto right side, and they're just kind of cornered off. It looks like Default's trying to call them to rotate though, so yeah, they're mirroring hard. They're mirroring hard. Yeah. Spartan's going to get chased behind.
He survives and he brings Beats out.
Yeah, he draws
actually continues to live.
This is a really strange mid. Birdo and Juice trade. Default has a bunch of room. Default's disconnected from Ambro. Ambro's went into what? Okay. Spaceship gets killed. Ambro is living on 40 HP. It is up to Optivex again to try and salvage this. He does not get it that time. Wow, that's...
There it is.
Hopefully they don't be for last push. We've seen this many times this season, but that was a really clean... That was... Default finally realized that getting stuck in Cafe is not the optimal play on mid, and he decided to actually mirror, which is so good. And it was... Even though, like, I don't know, just... Like, their soldiers effectively didn't do anything, but the fact that they didn't die until very late into those fights just helped them out so much. Especially with that opening pick onto Ants too, like knowing that Ants is down, I'm sure like from a moral standpoint and from a like just calling standpoint, it makes it so much easier.
Oh, and kudos to you too, Jolson, for managing to cast that. I was completely lost. I had no clue what was going on there. There were players all over the place. And it looks like they've actually taken a lot of time to...
Oh. Nerf gets dropped in the Uber, no. What is this? Default is trying to spam at the gun, Birdo's pushing away Ambro, Default's gonna get caught in. Oh no, this is... Oh, I can't... I didn't want to jinx it, but I think I did.
Curse of the caster, man. It's real.
Oh, that's awful. It looks like they're gonna wait. It looks like blue team are gonna wait for Uber and then push out. I think they're gonna probably leave Heavy on last. Yeah, Beats is on last, chilling. Optivex is switched off. They're looking to try and take back second. This is a full Uber out on the side of blue. Obviously, Nerf will be trying to grind his hardest to get that and maybe manage to hold second. They're definitely gonna lose mid off this, but you know, they're gonna try and hopefully not get rolled. Hopefully, it won't be like a 3-point swing.
Devastating last there. They took their time, played it slow, thought through what they were going to do, and then just dropped Nerf instantly to a sentry.
Spartan dies.
Yeah,
they're
trying
still,
to commit for the Fortress dies.
They're still really forward here, and Ants has gone behind in Valley. This is going to be really scary. Juice meets him and spots him already. Juice might lose the 1v1. He's already low HP. Jenga instantly eats a rocket.
112 rocket. Wow.
Oh, that's... With Spartan still down, they might still try and push this. Birdo is looking to edge its way through.
There.
Yeah.
Worthy's getting pretty aggressive towards Cafe.
Looks like Birdo's
trying to jumps through.
Ants is really forward as well. Here. They're really clustered up. They might get a few peaks here. Ants goes down, Optivex goes down, Ember gets forced, it's an Uber trade.
This is so weak in this post. He's going to pick his health back up, and he leaves Worthy at... Oh, he gets
Worthy gets a pick into Juice.
But,
oh my gosh.
Well,
the saving grace for that was that spaceship lived, but at what cost? Like, they're gonna lose mid off this. Or Jenga was on the chase.
Can't quite get it.
Yeah, he can't beat a 300 health soldier, sadly. Not enough MG, but I mean, Worthy is still dead, so they're gonna consolidate their position on the point, and this is very even situation again. Jenga is dead, so he might come up in off class. I'm expecting an off class.
Jenga's been banned off Sniper because he sucks.
Yep, and he definitely did not come up Sniper, so...
Yeah, I think they might be expecting to have Ad here, knowing that Rocky wasn't healing for a bit, or Spaceship wasn't healing for a bit.
Even if they did know that, I don't think they would even risk it.
It's a bit late now.
Spartan solo sack.
He might... Oh no.
He's living for a long time though. He is not dead. Oh my gosh. If Spartan had any more ammo reloaded.
Yeah. Liberty launcher, man.
Looks like a counter sack comes in from Ants. He manages to get a solid rocket onto Default, but Default lives. He has 260, fortunately.
I really want to see a double sack here from Colon Cancer. The spawns on, like, the forward spawns are so close that you can afford to, like, sack 2 soldiers and take a trade, like, in Cafe, Choco Valley, wherever they come through, and have your soldiers arrive for the post as Juice gets annihilated.
Hopefully that was a sack. Otherwise, I don't think Juice will come up Spy. He'll probably leave the door open or something. Birdo tries to go in for a counter sack, gets no rocket.
Gets double man.
Gets a 50 rocket onto, what is it? Ambro, but nothing else really. So yeah, it's gonna even out. Juice. Oh, okay, he's definitely coming up in off class. He accidentally delayed his respawn. It is up spy. I'm pretty sure Birdo will be checking for this the moment he comes up, but hopefully the Juice spy works out.
He doesn't know.
Oh, okay.
Just comes up soldier.
Yeah.
So they won't know for sure.
I mean, Juice, like, it was a sack though, so you probably got to be expecting a spy. It's on them to push, really.
I mean, heat of the moment, they might not be thinking about off classes and everything. Birdo.
Oh, Birdo
Just
dies
sacking,
to
yeah.
nerf? This is interesting. If Juice can get this pick, this should be an easy win. Juice. Oh no, Spaceship just looks at him.
Oh no.
Oh, and Spartan
And
goes
Spartan
down as
dies.
well.
I
I
think
think
he
that
might
was...
have
Yeah, I think
trying
that might
to
have been a
suck. Is it
distraction play.
distraction?
Yeah. But they just didn't fall for it. I think they might have mistimed it. It looks like they're going to try and enter this now. Ants might go down. He manages to live on 7 HP. They used the Uber
Here
first,
comes the
though.
trade, yeah.
Yeah, there's a slightly better Uber on the side of red team. They're not flashing too hard either, so this is going to be really great. Jenga hopefully doesn't die, and they're going to re-enter through this post. Beats might get called out. He is on 80 HP, but no. I think it's just going to reset. I'm surprised that no kills came out.
Yeah, me too. That's like the play I wanted. Double soldier sack, take the trade, and then have your soldiers spawn and fight the post. But I think no one from Terrible Tactics overcommitted, as Spartan gets in trade with Juice, so there probably won't be a counter sack. Sorry, trade with Beats, not Juice.
I mean, a scout for a soldier isn't too bad, but I mean, it is a stalemate, so it doesn't even really matter anyway. Even Ubers again. I think with the golden cap rules, the whole having mid at the end of 10 minutes thing doesn't exist.
No, not for us. Jenga's team thought it did last playoff game they played and kind of sat on mid for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, if
So-
that happens, it's gonna return to another round with another mid fight. So
Yeah.
hopefully that doesn't happen. A sack comes in again, single sack I think it is. Spartan gets absolutely nothing.
Spun sacrificing his logs here for the team.
Yep, Ants gets a counter sack in, but gets fed into Nerf's
Stopped
4
the
kill
choke,
streak.
yeah.
Jose is gonna trade with Berta. Actually had a buff there and he lives. Surely they try and trade this. Yeah, and they're trying to edge through Cafe. Berto has a bunch of pressure walking in. He gets a bit of spam onto Default. Default's really close. He might get caught out here. They use the Uber first onto Berto. Berto's going to jump out. A few flashes coming out on the side of red team. And it looks like they're going to try and retreat. Jank gets picked off on the flank by Optivex.
Beats is... Oh. He had a
All Beats
pretty
might get
nice
taken
opening
out.
there. He had a sticky though.
They're trying to try and muscle their way in through choke. Spartan tried to get a bunch of spam in. A scout all
Optivex
the way
is gonna
deep.
get caught there.
Oh, I think it's going to just return to another stalemate.
Oh, and
Juice
Juice.
gets... they do have a
It's
spawn
really
in Jenga though, so it shouldn't be too hard to fight mid.
No.
Yeah,
No,
they're
I
just
don't think
staying.
we'll see anything come with this.
Yeah. For our 450 viewers or so that are watching this incredibly stalemated golden cap, we're sorry, but you know, it happens. It'd be like that sometimes. It's 5 minutes
Sure
left.
does.
Yeah.
I mean, would you want to go back to a mid fight if you're colon cancer?
Oh no way. They're already in a,
Yeah.
like I think they're just gonna try and wait for for Terrible Tactics to make a mistake. But I think Juice is actually going. He gets slammed. Okay, well, Spaceship is on 15 HP.
Oh man.
Oh, that's the double sack that you like to see. But
Oh, I love it.
Spaceship had fucking balls of steel, man.
Bodo kind of like jumps in, but colon cancer is so far back. He just like wastes all his health and ammo. Rocket jumping.
Colon Cancer do not want to stay in this mid at all. Default's actually in a really bad position. Amber gets forced immediately. They actually pick up Ants though. That's not too bad, but the Uber's slightly better on the side of blue team. Positioning is not too bad as well. Default is going to eat a bunch of shit. He's on 50 HP. Doesn't get the arrow in time. Nerf goes down. Juice goes down. Jenga might go down as well. Berto gets taken out in the process though. Spartan is about to die. They are still in this fight. What are you doing?
Yeah,
There's no way they get out
Andrews
here.
Might get caught a choke here.
Default
Two
Default
scouts
gets
chase
caught.
him down.
Oh,
I don't think he's
no.
gonna live here.
Oh, he gets the pack. He gets the saw.
Gets a saw. Oh my
No
god,
way
he's so
he lives.
healthy.
Oh
Oh.
no, that just delayed his death
Pistol
so
from
much.
Optivex.
Worthy does die. Spaceship might actually get called out. He's getting rushed by the respawns of
Oh,
Nerf.
no, they
oh,
forget about
Nerf and
forwards.
Juice. Nerf gets a frag onto Optivex. Beats his 1v1 against Jenga. Jenga with the 1v1 of his life, surely. Oh, they're both
Oh.
beefing. They're both beefing. Oh, Jenga wins
Jenga with
it.
the 2-shot after he grabs the health pack.
Oh my gosh.
That's really handy.
They're gonna have the tiniest bit. No, it's gonna be even Ubers again. What am I
Amber's not
saying, man?
healing.
Actually, they might try and push mid. They do have a slight respawn advantage, but oh, it's not looking good. It's
10
gonna.
seconds without healing. They gave up like 25 ad there.
They're actually trying to push mid. Ants gets taken down really low as he tries to sack into Ambro. The health is really shit onto the side of red team. Juice gets picked up. Jenga is really low. They trade soldiers, and it looks like they're gonna try and move off health ad. They're going to try and get a bunch more spam in. Looks like the soldier's going to try and go in for a sack. Birdo is all the way in cafe. He eats a pipe and some spam. Spartan gets taken down on the flank though. Optifex just runs in and pistols in with Beats. Beats gets traded. He might actually get caught. Oh, default goes huge! He manages to pick up
Oh my
Spaceship and
God.
Worthy.
And he doesn't even die for it. That... I don't know how he didn't die there. There were like 4 players around him.
Optifex
And
was
he had
literally
no
on
one.
his ass and he showed
Yeah.
why he's a 55 act gamer. Oh no. Oh,
Ambro's
there's a
gonna
soldier into
die,
Amber.
though.
No,
Yep.
Ants with the direct. Oh my gosh.
Default
Again.
a little bit carried away, jumping away there, not even like hitting tab to see how many soldiers were up. And
Ants just goes absolutely
Yeah.
huge with that play. That rocket literally went through like the legs of default, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
That was like insane. Ants is just turning up huge. As we try to fix the HUD for our lovely viewers, we're going to try and radiocast this. Hopefully something too dramatic doesn't happen while the camera's gone, but doesn't look like that'll be the case. There is a 50% Uber out on the side of blue team. There is 2 soldiers that trade though. Berta and Juice go down. And it looks like blue team are going to try and force their way into mid through choke. Ants jumps in, tries to create a bunch of space. Optivex goes down. Spartan goes down in the process as well. Looks like they're going to try and stay.
they've
Ants
lose
might
big
get
soldiers,
caught out.
they're staying, yeah.
Yeah, Ants gets caught
Ants
out
does.
onto Tetris.
But so
and
does
Worthy's the only one on point. Amber eats a bunch of shit though. He's on 60 HP.
What? Spaceship
Well, he forces?
just used.
Okay,
On
well, there's
150 HP with a 260 demo. I don't know
That's-
what made him use that.
might have been nerves. Like he might have accidentally clicked his left,
Might- yeah,
like his right
misclick.
mouse button.
Oh man.
We have our HUD fixed though, and we like see Worthy die in, and they're gonna run it in with a full Uberad. Hopefully, this is gonna be around, but they don't want to give this up. They are grinding and trying to make their way out of there. Juice dies, Ants dies, and looks like they're just gonna take back the point. 50% on the side of blue team now, so they should be able to have it to hold last at the very least.
Yeah,
But
if
it
they
looks
can just
like-
get Spaceship out alive, if...
Oh, there's
If
no way
Colin
they
can't swap too
stalemate
fast.
this. Oh,
Please don't.
it's
Oh, man.
80% on the side of blue team, so it looks like they're gonna stalemate.
Although, they are pushing pretty aggressively in Cafe.
No,
Yeah,
default
Uber's
still
used
thinks
out.
he has a full ad. He's so close to getting Spaceship. If they get Spaceship here, they win this round. Spaceship lives. He gets the Uber. Juice dies. This might actually be okay for post. Everyone's scattered. Nope, Jenga dies. Nerf might die as well. They're all
Oh,
caught
Worthy
in.
does.
Worthy gets picked off though. Spartan dies. It's literally 3-on-4. They are all clumped up into one corner. Unless default hits 8 pipes here, they're not going to win this.
Nerf
picks
hits
up
like
a frag onto
8
Beats. So.
shots though.
Yeah, it's only a respawn that came up, so even though it's a 3v4 on the screen, it's not like that in game. Ants is bombing in onto Amber. Ants goes huge!
That's huge.
No, Nerf ran away from his combo to try and chase the frag, but he only picks up Ants way too late. They're gonna have like a 60 to 70%, like 50 to 60 Uber advantage off of this.
Yeah. That's huge, and they'll be able to take second here. There are no heals, and I don't think any of these players will get forwards. So
Yeah, they
it'll be a
won't.
free second, yeah.
All the spawns got denied, Jenga's already up on Engineer, Juice is on Pyro. I already questioned that, but they're not even bothering to hold second. Although
Yeah.
blue team are kind of taking their time though. I think they expect that for red team to have some sort of soft hold.
Yeah.
They still should be able to have like a 50% Uber advantage though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's
Need to
slowly,
learn from their mistakes and take it in straight away though.
yeah, it's slowly dwindling. Nerf has already built it up to like 70%. They have a heavy ready and locked on onto that doorway where Worthy is coming in. 80% on the side of red team as the Uber comes in from blue. The sentry goes down. Optivex is taken down really low. He is beefing all his shots. Nerf dies. There's so much cap time though. Default's blocking with his body. 100%.
Oh, they get
Oh
the
my
Uber.
gosh. Sure, as long as they don't leave the point, they should be fine. It looks like
He's
Blue-
gonna stick it. He's
Worthy's gonna try and re-enter though. Birdo's here as well. Oh my god,
they get
they
it.
got the cap. They just played that post beautifully. Oh my gosh,
Oh.
that's a GG. And
ladies
that's,
and gentlemen, your ozfortress 29 champions. Terrible tactics.
Yeah,
Wow.
they clutched it out in 2 maps and in Golden
Wow.
Cap. That was intense.
Yeah. I mean, slightly less intense in the Golden Cap, but still,
We
man.
we don't acknowledge those stalemates. Everything else was like insane. Wow. I mean, what else can you say? Like,
Oh man, I'm speechless. This is not the way I'd predicted this map. Or this game at all, actually.
Ant's showing to our 500 viewers why he's not a complete meme. That was basically like the hour that we had of sunshine.
No, somehow I think they're not gonna believe him.
Yeah.
I think Ed's just a memeable guy.
Hopefully we get some interviews.
Yeah.
But like this, we tried to process it all through that short like intermission between Golden Cap and regular time. But like, yeah, I think we still like it's not much left to say anymore. Like Ants went huge.
Yeah.
Like default went huge in regular time. I don't think he showed up as much in playoffs. Not playoffs, in Golden Cap, sorry, but like it just happens. Like that was such a chaotic game. I don't think it even came down to the DM fights as well. It just came down to like who pulled out the biggest play, and just Ants had more big plays than the entire red team.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Ants. I don't know. He just does so much work, and the timing of his bombs is something you don't see from any other soldier in main. I mean, there are soldiers in main with slightly better DM than him, but I don't think he can go past his brain and his game sense on this one.
He kind of proved that he was
Yeah.
the smartest player in the server, and like probably by like discounting default, he was probably the smartest in the server by like a mile.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd say everyone in the blue team kind of did their job as well. Like, as much as we kind of clown, or as much as I clowned Optivex and Beats, they showed up, they got the kills that they needed, they didn't die at times where they didn't need to die, and they just played it, like, perfectly. Especially that last fight, too. Like, that last fight on last. Like, fighting in Uber, 3v4, they just all played post brilliantly. And looks like we have a few gamers coming in for interviews. A few players on both sides, actually.
Terrific.
Oh, hello there.
We are dragging them in now. We've got around 3 or 4. We've got 3 people from the side of Terrible Tactics in Spaceship, Ants, and Optivex, and we've got, I think it's 2 on the side of Colon Cancer with Spartan and Juice. Just a general question to all of you guys. How are you guys feeling? Whoever takes the mic first.
Yeah, I feel like we're playing. Like we played pretty well. I just think they came out as the better team on the night. I think that's all you can really say for that match.
Yeah, definitely. I would say you guys definitely came out better.
Looks
Getting Bodo in.
Looks like we have Birdo coming in as well. That'll make it 4 players on the side of the victorious team. Birdo, how do you feel, mate?
I feel wonderful after that win.
Beast.
Great.
Especially coming off not playing the first finals week, I think it was particularly impressive for Berto to come in and put up a big performance tonight in the grand final. Having not played an official for 2 weeks, that's really big from him. So we were really proud of him tonight.
Yeah. That's something we kind of questioned too, considering that we thought Appa would be playing Scout, but obviously Berto came in and absolutely pounded when he needed to.
Oh, we can win with both teams apparently, but no, I don't think those scorelines for either final did the closeness of the teams justice. They've been the ones to beat all season long, and we've really had to improve ourselves to get to this point to where we could snatch the grand final from them. So it really could have gone either way today. But we're just happy with the prep that we put in. Yeah.
Beast.
Yeah, these guys were grinding pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean, like, probably one of the stars of the game. Ants, how do you feel, man? Like, you came up with just big frag after big frag. Like, you were getting the demo or the medic like nearly every mid or like nearly every team fight. Like, how are you weaseling your way through like all these players? Just getting onto like default and the med and Ambro. We actually have more gamers coming in.
I guess just like embracing the Roma gameplay and trying to just get into the most disgusting, sweaty, like unpleasant mindset as possible to try and just like go behind every time and just like hit Spartan with like one spam rocket and then just like jump away and just like be a fucking insect.
Oh my gosh.
I'll show you play.
Oh,
Roma.
that was so fun. Amazing game. Thank you guys.
Just for anyone on colon cancer, it's not an easy question to answer after you've just lost. But what do you think from your point of view? What kind of went wrong for you guys tonight?
I don't think like on the side of like how we played, I don't think we played particularly poorly. Like I think we probably played the best as we could. I think that's what we can really ask for. As far as what went wrong, I'm not sure. I just think we were getting like in some of the like Uber exchanges and some of like the fight exchanges, we were just getting a bit unlucky, and I think that's kind of comes down to that a bit.
I'd agree with that. Like, I don't think you guys played particularly bad in a sense. It's just they capitalized on a few more advantages, like that Ants kind of created for them, or like one of their players would create for them. It was just.
I mean, Ants
yeah.
was doing work all game long. I mean, you can't really say anything else other than that.
Did you have
He
like a
was,
mindset? Like, did you have a mindset going into that, knowing that Ants would be like just roaming around, like literally just playing a complete Jew play style?
I mean, having played it before, I think we kind of like we know how Ants plays. But I mean, he was just particularly effective tonight, which I mean, good on him.
Yeah, I kind of felt bad, honestly. Like there were so many times on product where it just like decided randomly to forward into you and like just got lucky. So.
I particularly think of the one time where I looked at Rock and then you were through connector and then I was dead and I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, it's just unlucky timing.
Yeah, half the time in the chat you just hear Ant saying, "Give me a buff, I'm gonna take on Spartan," and then off he goes.
Yeah, we noted that a lot too, and that's something like yeah. You go first.
No, I was just gonna say more often than not, Ants just says, "All right, guys, I'm gonna go sack," and we play from there. So yeah, Ants has been huge for starting our momentum going.
I mean, we have like the whole terrible tactics team here. Like, what about like you, Worthy, and Beats, and Optivex? Like, you guys haven't said much so far, but like, how do you guys feel about that game?
I just figured out how to use Mumble, so I'm in.
Oh, good on ya.
This man's on Mumble on his phone, by the way.
Yeah, I use Discord and stuff on my phone, so it was breaking up and stuff.
Yeah, let's hope his Mumble like works better than his Discord. Jesus, like literally like the first 10 minutes he was like intermittently like cutting out, like not able to hear him talk at all.
Yeah, but it would
Yeah, we
really
had
be
us
really
worried a
extended
bit.
and robotic, so we couldn't even hear our own comms. So it was
Yeah, it's great.
worse than
Yeah,
him being silent.
yeah, he was like cluttering comms with just like noise.
Technical issues on both sides, sadly.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were worried that whether he was gonna hear our comms, and if we were gonna head back and he would miss that. But thankfully, I think it was just a bit of lag, so he fixed it pretty fast. That was good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we had issues of a nicotine addicted demo man, so you know.
Yeah, it's a long time to play that.
Holy
last round.
fuck, that took ages.
I was hoping
And-
he was gonna rip it real quick, but nah.
What happened to Juice? He just
His mic stopped working in Mumble.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not too sure what went
Yeah,
wrong there, but
I went to take a break, and then when I came back, like my mic wasn't working, even though I had it plugged in, so I had to restart my PC.
Oh no. We
Yeah, quite
have
unfortunate.
we have a lot of people in here, so I guess we'll like continue with a few more quick questions, and then we'll head to our million shoutouts that we have to go to. On the side of colon cancer, how are your guys' comms feeling? Like, you guys picked Sunshine, and you guys eventually made it to Golden Cap, but like, was it really nervous for you guys? Like, I'd say in terms of experience, you guys had a little bit less playoff experience compared to like Optivex and Ants in comparison. Like, what was the comms like? Was it really pressured, or like really tense, or like, you know, what was it like?
I would have to say, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of tilted a bit, but you know, overall, I think our comms were pretty clean, you know, pretty concise. We're around at some points, but I think overall we had a solid team comm.
I mean, obviously, like you're gonna have pressure in a situation like that. Like your comms are gonna get tense. But I think for us, like the key thing out of this season was just like that 2 of our players are on first seasons. You know, a lot of our players are on like second season or first season on that class, and it was just kind of the fact that like we'll probably get to play into next season is really cool for us. So I think that's really
Yeah.
the key thing.
We look forward to see you there as well. I guess it's just because
that'll be good.
He's just ridiculous. Like, he's
He's
definitely
insane,
pretty
It's
hardcore.
Nerf or nothing, though.
Okay, I think the last question I'll direct it at Birdo because all the viewers want Birdo. Birdo, how are you feeling?
favorite.
And this is like you can't we played in the same season last season. You had a big jump, and you especially because you changed class as well. You went from scout to soldier. How do you think you did in that game?
I feel like I played alright. Could have done better, but I was pretty happy with how I played. Didn't really feed as much as I usually do in scrims, but yeah, I'm pretty happy.
Got a beast bomb on product. Jesus Christ.
That was
Turned that
crazy.
fight
Saved
right
us the
around.
round.
Huge.
That helped us out.
We were literally like losing that round, and then that one bomb just completely turns it around. I was
Everyone
like speechless in comms.
Everyone loves you, Birdo.
Yeah, thank you everyone.
Can't wait to see the Birdo video.
Yeah,
Birdo
I
frag
love it
movie.
too.
Birdo frag video.
Yeah, the Optivix frag movie.
Yeah. I did quite a lot of weird things on product.
You managed to get a lot of
playing
clutch
really
plays
good.
yourself.
Yeah, you just got a couple of picks.
With that out of the way, though, we should probably get to shoutouts because we have like 10
It's gonna
people
be a lot
here. Yeah. We'll just start at the top of the list. Ambro, what are your shoutouts, man?
Just shout out to the team for, playing this season, giving it all, really improving as a team. Huge shout out to Default for mentoring me from someone who had never touched Sixes or Medic in their life playing TF2 as a spy main to being able to somewhat play it. And then, shout out to also Nox for a little bit of mentoring.
Nice. What about you, Ants? Shoutouts.
Shout out Hipster, 420, Space, Jebby, Chief, Adam, Voltage, my team, and you guys for casting. Thank you.
Sweet. Beats. Any shoutouts?
Yeah. So Rowan, Siberia, and then Dopper for always constantly playing TF2 with me. I thank Alt for all the demo reviews, as well as Johnny for the tips. Thank you so much.
Nice. Birdo.
Shout out to Lizard Wizard, shout out to everyone in the ODO and the Boost Easy Federation, shout out to Zerbal, and shout out to everyone who came to the stream.
Juice.
I'd like to shout out this team for getting me to playoffs. It was my first time ever making it into playoffs. Shout out to Cake and Benny for staying true. And a huge thank you to Kowski for subbing in when my PC died.
Nice. I think I'll get to our production guys at the very last, so that'll leave it at Optivex next.
Shout out to Alt. Pretty much it. I know he wants the attention.
Shout out Jebby again. Sorry, apparently I missed him. Did I say that?
I think you shouted out, Jebby.
Okay.
Yeah, you did. You said Jebby.
Fucking lying cunt. He's in Discord screaming at me.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
There goes the keyboard.
Spaceship.
Shout out to the Church of Yilmaz boys. I know a few of you guys have watched tonight. Shout out to my team. Thank you so much for trusting my calls. And shout out to ozfortress. It's been a great season.
Nice. Spartan.
Shout out to my team, all the Intel powerhouses, Crud, Lugnuts, Luna, Kowski. Shout out to Harrison and Oz, because their heads are good real estate and I'm living there rent free. So, yeah, that's probably it.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Want to keep it nice and not toxic, man.
Not toxic, it's just true.
Worthy.
I want to shout out Big Yurik, Doctor, and my fellow Parramatta supporter Mal. And of course, the team, good season, guys. This is my only second season, playing a full season as well, so it's good. Play demo.
Yeah, peace. To the guys on production, Poisy, what about you?
Firstly, thanks to you, Jazz as well. Great job producing. Mal also asked me to give her a shout out, but I'm not going to double her airtime. So I think Mo Bloke wanted me to shout out Big Flopper, may he rest in pieces, and Fences for dodging all the scrims.
Mitch, what about you?
Let Jazz and yourself go first.
Okay. You can go first, Jazz. Thank you. Shout out to current team, BP of old, and open players and stuff like that, and Harvard Esports and whatever. Shout out to Author. Shout out to, I don't know, BTG, Highlander, with them as well. And then, yeah, that's it.
I retract my shout out for Jebby.
Yeah, I'm gonna double that shout out retraction. Sorry, Jebby. No, shout outs to Jebby. Just I don't know, he's a nice guy. Big shout outs to I don't know, both teams. It was a fun game. Shout outs to my boys and Burnt Toast Gaming and everybody that I'm good mates with. I very much appreciated. Most importantly, I need to give a really big shout out to everybody who's casted for us this season. It's been I've replaced grinding TF2. Not that I was ever that good to begin with, but replaced grinding sixes with grinding out casts, which has been a lot of fun. I'm really happy we've been able to do a lot of really, really good games this season from all different divs, and culminating with 3 grand finals, intermediate, main, and open. Has really been a whole lot of fun. I'm a little bit older than most of the people in the community, so I don't know. I very much have a
I don't
big
know about that.
well, you'd be surprised. So I don't know. TF2 has a pretty special place in my heart. This autistic life I'm destined to live. So I guess
Okay, bro.
I can really only shout out everybody who's been part of this season and following CappingTV. And it's only the beginning. That much I can tell you. So otherwise, thank you to everybody who's watching from our followers from the front page.